Sully, you have a job.
She won!
She won!
Wait.
Yes! Yeah!
I hit her with the all rocks just to see
Oh
how
my
it
god,
would
it
go.
happened!
I missed it. Do it again.
No.
I wasn't looking.
No way!
I'm not
Well?
even used to being on this side of the table, so I wasn't looking at that
It's
direction.
your energy. That's what she
I'm
needed.
your luck charm.
MD and Cammy together is the power
This
that
is-
we needed
Yes.
to make the rock, paper, scissors.
This is why we
victory
sit at
finally
opposite
happen.
tables.
They
It's-
can't handle
you're
it.
unstoppable. If I put you next to each other, you would be fully and completely unstoppable.
What a shame it's not on a normal show, so it doesn't count.
It
Does-
does.
You keep making up
It's a
rules as
small-
we
Make
Okay.
up rules. Why? Because you're embarrassed. Because you lost.
No, we got to move the goalposts.
You're like my
that's how it's fun.
5-year-old nephew. The moment he starts losing, he makes new rules, so he's winning.
Yeah, you
I
have to
can't
keep
believe it
moving the
happened.
goalpost.
It's like this entire show we're doing today
She's won twice.
is.
I did win one other time,
I literally
right?
Don't
or did I
remember
just
that.
get? No, I
No,
won.
you've
I don't
won
remember
one
that,
other
but that
time.
might have been
Won one
before
other-
I like
because
cared.
then that episode we had an insane energy going forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
What
pretty
episode
sure
was
that's
this?
the episode we
Pretty
tried
sure that
to
was-
talk about.
I believe yes.
I think that was that episode.
So this was early in chapter 2.
Yes.
Right, this was earlier in chapter 2. Okay. Fair enough. Well, it's funny that we have the season retrospective, this little talk show before we go into the finale next week. And this is the one where we kick it off by you
Yeah!
winning one. It happened. It happened and it's real.
I'm satisfied.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be a winner?
Feels incredible. It was worth the wait. There's
It was
Now,
worth
if
the-
only you could use that bless card.
Papa bless. IRL when she wins a game of rock, paper, scissors.
Could you just tell me that one of them rolling out one on my save so that I don't have to take that into season 3? Could you just let it happen?
That's yours forever.
For the
Please.
rest,
You can love and cherish your blessed card.
final boss fight.
And then
Please.
so we're gonna have that in book 6.
Oh my
And it's
god.
gonna pop
Just-
on the final
on
boss.
something like insane. Literal final boss. It's gonna
Yes.
last hit the final boss is what it is. You are going to finish Strange Aeons by finally popping
With
the
my
blessed card that you've
bless.
had for like
my
3
bless.
actual real life months.
Just for you to flip it over and it's like, enemies stunned one.
It doesn't. Well, like we haven't seen many.
We haven't
of
seen
these.
most of them. We've
No,
only
you
seen like
have not. You've seen like
maybe 6
4.
or 7.
Yeah,
maybe
it rarely,
like 6.
rarely happens.
You would be doing most of them are like a spell, right? Yeah, it's like most of them. I'm just looking at the delineations. Most of them have a spell delineation, but it also has like a damage type. So we'd have 2 options because if one of them was nothing, like you do, I think the spell would be the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But most of your spells you're casting are doing physical damage, right? Like the ones that you
Yeah,
don't have
like my
attack
cantrip
rolls.
one that has an attack roll does piercing.
Yeah, your needle
So-
darts and then what does
That-
your
but it's
shadow
still a
one do?
spell.
Isn't your shadow one
It
do-
I can choose. It does slashing, bludgeoning, or piercing.
Okay, yeah, so that still does physical damage.
Yeah.
So if you flip it over and the spell one it does absolutely nothing. Some of these are truly hilarious. Like it's, the difference in power level between the effects on the Bless and Bane cards is literally insane.
some of them don't really do anything. Like you take 1d6 bleed.
So there's like I'll give you just a couple of examples in the back of these because we really haven't looked at them very much. There's one on this first card that's normal damage. So you do not get double damage. You lose the double damage.
Oh my gosh.
But the target is stunned too with no save. So
I'd rather just have the damage.
skip
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, that's a
basically.
turn of them not doing anything.
That is a whole like skipped turn. And then
And
Yeah,
no
but the double
reactions.
damage might kill them.
we have triple damage.
Ooh.
The target must make a fortitude save or dies immediately.
Now, there's a whole lot of just triple damages. I do know
And we
that.
have the target takes 1d8 poison damage.
Yep. Garbage.
That is definitely on the same scale as triple damage and also a death save.
Right.
1d8 poison damage.
I mean, your damage
Very
is
much
still
comparable.
doubled.
Oh my gosh.
They are all over the place. These cards are absolutely all over the place. I have no idea. Like clearly there was not an intent to make them balanced. It was just to make
What they
them do
did was
Yeah.
wacky
everybody
things.
in the office, they told them to design one card. and they reference no one else.
There was no discussion about power level
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, think of one neat crit effect upon the back of one of these cards, and they just threw all of them together and put them on there.
Sounds good.
The fact that we have triple damage and it might die instantly, and then things they felt like they had to balance by removing the double damage in the first place is like, what do you just leave it on there?
Yeah.
Like, you have instantly dead as an effect. I don't think you need to nerf any of these. Like, I think...
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I do remember reading a spell one that is wild magic. They get hit by another spell. So
That's a good one.
A second, smaller spell.
I don't think they've heard about second spell.
you just take another spell, and I think that would be very funny.
That one's a good one. That one's fun.
Well, they
funny.
could get like shield or
Right,
like
yeah.
I don't know how you do that. We'd
At
have
least
to-
it's still
they just
funny.
get it, whatever the second spell is.
Yeah, but like, we don't have a wild magic table. How are we gonna pick a second spell?
Well, why not?
Google.
Just Google. It's like a
Everybody
random
rips out their
spell
phones
generator.
and they say,
like,
okay. Or we all wait politely for Arcadis to look it up.
Yeah, like, I'm curious if you could. I'm sure you could find just a random spell generator,
There is.
and it would just pull something out. Like, there's no way that throughout the entirety of the
There's
past
go to
like
Archives and
thousands
Nethys.
of wild magic
Go to Archives and
tables.
Nethys and you just press the random page button until
Yep.
you hit a spell.
There you
Oh,
go.
I forgot they had that. That's
Oh,
true.
I forgot the
Keep
rule.
It
doing that,
could
it's
be
fun.
wish.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You could hit them with you just hit them with
Do they make a wish or do you make a wish?
They
They
get
make
the
the wish.
spell. No, they get the spell.
The spell targets them. You
Yeah.
get wish. Like, I sure wish I didn't get crit by that.
I sure do wish they were dead.
It's just. Oh, there it is.
Oh, here we
Spirit
go.
blast.
Spirit
They
blast.
just
Oh,
they
we
would get a
found-
spirit
oh,
blast.
yes.
Nice.
Random
Proliferating
spell
eyes is
generator.
hilarious.
Some of these Stone of Pledge.
Ventriloquism.
Ventriloquism.
Yeah. Like some of these wouldn't do anything.
Oh,
Most
gosh.
of them wouldn't do anything. Plane shift.
Plane shift would be
That would
hilarious.
be so good.
Gone. They are just gone. One plane, irrelevant. Doesn't matter. They're somewhere else.
Hopefully not where-
Crusade.
The fact that you read that one means that it's not the one that I'm sitting on.
What?
That he read that effect. That means it's not the one I'm sitting on, but I want it to be.
What? What did I read?
Oh, he
There's
read
a
that.
lot
He,
of
you
dude,
read
no.
the last card.
he read that before.
There's a
we
lot of-
started
I've
drawing
read
cards
through
out
a
of it.
lot of these.
He read through
I
all of
could
them
We
to look
got
at.
There's also a pretty good amount of like duplicated effects in here.
I
Then that's
could
not
have
fully
it.
unique effects.
Personal rank
because
cloud.
I've been an advocate of the bless and bane or the crit fail crit success decks since Paizo made them.
Because
Yeah.
they're fun.
They're
This is when
super
I
fun.
finally
I
got
really
him to
like it.
agree to put them in.
I really wish I could pop one off more often. Because I
You
think
just
they're
have to
super
try
fun.
really hard
I am.
and
I am trying.
believe in yourself.
I took a cantrip specifically.
You sure aren't casting it.
I'm helping you most
You
of
cast
the
it
time.
sometimes. It's come out a few
I
times.
cast
No,
it sometimes when I
you-
get a second. I'm healing you people.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
you have a
stoking you
gun.
all the time.
You have a
shoot
gun.
the gun.
I'm
You
gonna
can
shoot
you
the
can
gun.
get a bless on your. Imagine you pull out
I'm
your
gonna
gun,
shoot.
you shoot somebody,
That's
and you just roll a 20,
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna shoot the gun. I really hope.
and
that would be
your
amazing.
bless immediately goes
That
off
would
on the
be
gun,
fantastic.
And it
And
says
it's like-
instantly
and it's
die.
triple damage and dies.
It's just
You just pull it
I'm
out.
gonna roll into
You're
next
like,
week and be like,
"Hmm."
"Bah!"
Well, this was much faster than I thought this was gonna go.
What are we gonna do with the rest of the 3 hours, AJ? Huh?
I didn't really plan around
Go
this
ahead and roll a
adventure.
fort save for whatever demon we're fighting.
You roll a 20, get triple damage, do a whopping 3d4.
Oh, how much damage does the
It's
gun do?
it's
I do not know.
fatal, so it would
Is it
be
fatal?
I think it's only fatal D10, but it'd be D10.
If it's D4,
I
it'd
have
be
no
a
idea what
D8.
damage the gun
Yeah.
does.
Fatal goes 2
D8.
steps
I
up.
just
Oh,
know it's
is
a
it?
gun.
I don't remember. I think it's.
I haven't a clue.
because my pick is.
I'm pretty
D10.
sure.
Pretty sure it's a D6 to a
literally
D10.
Just a regular pistol. Coat pistol.
Is that me?
Oh, yeah,
it's a
D8.
D8,
It's 4 to
it'd be
8.
D8s. Yeah, it's a coat pistol is what it was because it was small. It was the one that you could hide. So like it's just a little fella. So
Basically, it's a Derringer.
I rolled
okay.
a 1.
it is a. Stop.
Fatal D8. Wait, so what? I don't deal with the. I don't use the.
Yeah, I don't
I don't know.
use.
I
these
haven't done this.
mechanics.
On
I
a-
don't know what that means.
On a crit, all of your dice become D8s, and you get an extra
Oh.
D8.
That's nice.
That's
There's
why.
the
That's
two
why I
that always
crit
get-
so much with a
That's nice.
pick.
The two that always get confusing are deadly and fatal because they're very similar, but they're different. Deadly is you get one extra die that is that big. That's what Marius has. That's what bows usually do.
Yeah.
Fatal is you get an extra die and your regular dice also turn into that.
That's
So-
awesome.
That's why picks
You
are
get-
so dangerous.
Your D4 becomes a D8.
Yeah.
That doubles because it's a crit, a 2D8. and you get an additional die, so it's 3d8 total.
And if she does
Is it
triple
correct?
damage, it's
If
48.
it's triple damage, it's 4d8.
To be fair,
Fatal die doesn't multiply.
And then
Off
she
of-
rolls a fort save.
And then she also force
Yeah.
save or dies. Well, this is, I guess they're both she's.
That's
I realized when we were making the thumbnail for this talk show today specifically, it was funny. I was trying to think of characters to put on it. Every single character in this adventure, like every single major NPC is female. I do not think
the
there is.
entirety of book 2 has just been.
There is not
ladies.
like a male character anywhere in book 2.
We talked to.
Well, there's male characters, just there's not important.
They're
what's
just
his
like
face?
accessories.
All the significant.
The barkeep,
people
Yeah, like
his
Golston,
drinking
the
bubbly,
barkeep.
Bubbly.
buddy.
of it.
Bang Bang.
I cannot remember the
Bang
name.
Bang's not
He
even
was
written in the book.
He was in the asylum, and we talked to him again like twice.
Oh yeah,
and I
yeah.
cannot remember his name right now.
Oh, the
Voltron.
one.
The guy
Yes,
that's
that's him.
The guy you use Patrick's voice for. I
That's
can't-
Golston. That's
yeah,
the barkeep.
yeah,
No, this
No,
guy. That's him.
That's him.
Boston.
Boston.
I was
They're
like,
the
my,
same.
my brain was Vanstrom. I was like, it's not Vanstrom.
we
It's a
talked to him like
vampire in
once or
RuneScape.
twice this season, but he was a bigger deal.
He's
last
also a holdover from book 1.
Yeah.
But it's like we have Daradella, we
Mhm.
have Reese, we have Rumatri, we have Melisson.
Rumatri's
then
not a woman.
We go over to the
Wyrelai.
friendly team. We have Lady Rance.
Mhm.
We have, I can't remember the name of the receptionist. Even all the characters in the Sleepless Agency are female,
They were
except
all
for like
ladies.
one background
Meg.
NPC
Yep.
that never came up again.
Meg.
Meg.
That's
Meg
like the
Thalen.
only NPC name I got. Like,
Meg Thalen. I have my spreadsheet in front of me. It's been a minute. Meg Thalen is there. Yeah, Wyrelai is even female. Like it's
I'm
it's
trying to think if there's anybody else.
what was it?
Jaylene's husband, who does not even have art.
Who you explicitly said didn't know what he was talking about.
The alien flesh.
Oh, that
yeah,
guy.
Mr. Squishy.
And a keeper in yellow, who probably
Mr. Squishy.
Maybe that's why we were all so
Doesn't-
scared when we saw him. We hadn't seen
We
him
haven't seen
until
a man in
NPC.
generations.
He's like, oh, I miss Lucas.
Denman.
I
Denman
liked
and
Lucas.
yeah. Denman/Lucas.
Fake.
I don't know how y'all remember all these names. I only
I-
remember
Oh,
Bang Bang.
Lowen, that's
Guys,
the guy.
We
There
never
is a-
circled back to that poor fella. We like
We
did
did.
the
You went back in
we
and-
got a
we
10
did
gold
the
apiece.
paintings and said,
Yeah.
I guess that's fine.
What
You're
was his-
still-
That was all he wanted.
What
Yeah.
were we calling him?
He
I mean-
looked like
Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah, the crazy dude.
The crazy dude.
Oh, gee. I
That
forgot
I-
about him.
The one fort save I passed, I
He
think.
showed up for. It was a very low DC. It is.
I'm surprised it didn't fail it.
literally filth fever. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh my
it's like
gosh.
DC 14.
We were talking
He's a
about it.
very dirty man.
We were talking about it before the stream, me and AJ, about how I just fail every single fort save almost. It feels like I'm terrible at it.
What's your saving throw is like 12?
12.
12? That's I think a little below
I would-
average
Would have rolled a 1.
for this level. I mean, yeah, you can always roll ones. But I think like 13, 14 is an average like decent save for this level. That's the target range, which still makes it pretty hard because most effects you're saving against are in like the 24 to 26 range, I think. That's most of them. And then you have the higher tier guys that have got, I think 29 is the highest DC it's ever been thrown at you.
That's out of my league, man.
29 is like you need a 17.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of rough.
I need a 19
You
for
need a
Will.
19. You and your nice little 10. Okay, Arcade says there's one NPC I don't think ever came up on screen. I have
Who's
no idea
Link?
who he is. His name is Link Maris. I'm pretty sure he's a random, like, I think he's a random. He's not involved in the story, I don't think.
Oh my god.
He looks like Americana.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
what's Tim C got for us? While
Oh,
you
he's-
grab Tim C's message, let me double check. There's a big thing in the back of the book that's just like an overview of Thrushmore.
Oh.
It's not part of the. No, this is related to the plot. It's actually where Emmon Golston is from. He's not in like the
No.
adventure because this is
Oh,
all the
yeah.
adventure proper. This is just stuff to fill out the town with, and the link is from back here. He is the one that runs a business called the Depository, which is their coal and lumber storage. He's basically oversees the part of Thrushmore that isn't fishing. But that's
He's got the crazy behind his
definitely
eyes.
never came up. So Tim C says, is Paizo working with AJ to an official Strange Aeons 2 EAP?
No.
No, I'm just slamming stuff in here, man. I'm just making stuff up. This is the first one I've converted that I'm doing all of the legwork and number crunching and stuff for, because we did Curse of the Crimson Throne, that was a conversion from 1E. But there is an entire Discord server full of converted first edition adventure pets that have been modified for second edition that I'm pretty sure Edawir still runs. There's some good fellas. They had a Curse of the Crimson Throne thing. So I was just doing that. I didn't have to make up any stat blocks or anything for that. But there isn't one for Strange Aeons yet. So I'm just going buck wild with this, which is why it's pretty far removed in a lot of places from what the original adventure is, even more so than what I would normally do, because I have to make everything. And if I have the option between making a stat
Even
block,
the characters.
I mean, yeah, categorically, yes. If I have to, yeah, there's the link for it. Series. I couldn't remember the name of the Discord. I remember Edawir, but the series of dice-based events is what he calls the Discord.
Oh.
If I have to make up like a bestiary replacement for something like a Byaki that just doesn't even exist, those things that you fought in Old Chapel briefly,
Yeah.
That's just gonna be
straight
a rock.
up does not exist in second edition, and also like realistically does very little. There's a lot, before the dawn of the 3-action system, a lot of monsters didn't really do anything. There's just kind of a lot of sticks that have like one weird little ability. I'm not gonna adapt that. I'm just gonna find something else that's mostly similar and use that. So that's how we ended up with like the drainberry bushes, because those are just supposed to be like topiaries, like hedges that were carved in the shape of like an elephant and a flamingo and something else that just come to life and attack you, that literally do not do anything. They are just stat blocks. They have health and they attack.
Don't forget about the Bard Medusa from first edition. I cast Suggestion. Look at me.
Oh, from War for the Crown.
Yeah.
That was...
Monsters didn't always do nothing.
No, but I mean, well, it's a caster. Casters always get to do stuff. And like Medusas, Medusas have got their thing. But like, anyway, the topiaries didn't have a translation. And they didn't even do anything anyway. So I was like, screw it. What's a, 9th level plant? And just went looking through the bestiary and found drainberry bushes. I was like, oh, these are cool. So I'm just blap, they're drainberry bushes now. I even saw somebody said something it was either in chat or in a YouTube comment. I think
It was in the
YouTube.
chat because I saw it too.
Was in the chat. That's like, dang, he really made this encounter way more complex than it is in the actual book. I'm like, yeah, because it doesn't do anything in the book. They just walk at you and make attack rolls. It's a first edition monster. Yeah, there you go, living topiary. This is what it does. Its only ability is that it can leave. That's
I wish it would.
I guess that's not fair. It can, if it walks all the way out to the hedges at the edge of the edge of the hill, it can eat leaves and heal. Whoopee! That's what a cool monster.
I wish I could eat leaves and heal.
That only takes its entire turn. So it's a full round action. You're Starfinders. You know what a full round action is.
Yeah.
So it is to spend a turn walking all the way over there, and then spend a full round action to eat lettuce to heal for 1d8.
Jeez.
What an ability.
Oh my gosh.
Truly an unstoppable force, that living topiary. I don't know how you could possibly have dealt with something of that magnitude.
I'd be scared.
What if I just burn down all the bushes?
That's a lot of bushes.
Yeah, but then it can't
vulnerable to fire.
As
You might as
many
well
bushes are.
As you should burn them down.
It's a weird toss-up in Pathfinder.
Plants are 50-50.
Plants are totally 50-50 on being weak to or incredibly resistant to fire.
Because wet wood doesn't burn.
I feel like pretty much everybody's vulnerable to fire.
Fire does, in
I
fact.
feel like maybe everybody
Stabbing
should
kills
have that
most
checked.
people.
Yeah.
We're all vulnerable to.
Yeah, it should be checked on most of our shit.
That's the baseline. That's the base amount of damage that it does, is assuming that you can't be set on fire like most things.
No, whenever
But
something is noted as being vulnerable to fire, I have to laugh.
it's because they're extra flammable. It's a plant.
Well, a good example.
It's just a silly thing to say. It's just yeah.
Well, no, a good
Me
example.
too, dog. If you put a torch
I also
on
die
me,
when I'm killed.
I'd also, yeah.
A slime.
But if someone whacks you with a torch,
A
you're
slime it's fine. He wouldn't be vulnerable.
Well, no, but you smack the slime with a stick.
Yeah.
You don't cut or pierce the slime.
But we're talking about fire specifically.
Yeah, just
If
fire. Fire is the one that
hit you with
really-
a torch,
Yeah.
you would not burst into flames.
Right.
it would burn you and it would suck.
Yeah.
The bush.
If you hit a
And at that
sentient,
point, I would consider myself vulnerable to fire.
Yes, you are vulnerable, which
you
is
would take
taking the
a
damage.
regular amount of damage from the torch, like
It's
just
the
the normal amount of damage from the
vulnerable
fire.
to fire. That I just can't get past.
Well,
Just
do
take
you want
umbrage with the
wait,
wording.
we just need to
It's
change
never
it.
not just sounds silly to me.
We just change it
Where
to
it's like,
unresistant.
No
Unresistant.
way.
I mean, it's changed to weakness now.
Yeah, I mean it's
so-
weakness now.
it's
You have like a
weakness
weakness
now.
to
Yeah.
fire.
Because
I- it's
wasn't
just- yeah.
wasn't vulnerable
I mean,
like
for
you
most
took?
of the phrases,
What was how did
it's
vulnerable?
I
a-
want to
work?
say vulnerable is 50% more damage.
Yeah, because I know
which
weakness is a set number.
they stopped doing. I actually like this a lot. At first, one of the things when they first started talking about second edition, when they changed vulnerability
more
to
percentages.
weakness, it used to be 50% more. So if you did 10 fire damage, they took 15 or whatever. And now it's like they're weak 5, so they take 5 extra. I thought that's awful. Like that's so much worse because you barely get to do anything with it because now your huge fire hits, like you had to do with a fireball for 70, and they're like, oh, it's actually 75. Oh, that feels so cool. Was my initial reaction. I was a clueless, uninformed man. It is so much better to have it be a flat value because the point is anybody who can pull out any source of that damage at all is going to be effective.
Yeah.
Because
I have a torch.
you can literally hit them with a torch. You can throw like the 4 silver alchemist fire at them, and it's
Yeah.
going to be effective because they're adding a flat amount of damage onto every hit. And that's really what it's for. It's not like your guy who was already going to throw fire at it anyway
Persistent
just gets
of
a
their
little
weakness.
bonus.
Yeah.
Everybody can pivot to really contribute, and I think it's way better. Anyway, this was a tangent. Drainberry bushes are funny, so
They eat bodies.
Strange Aeons is funny.
It's funny.
I had
It's
a
scary.
I wonder where we never got to go to Taco Bell.
never did get to
Easy
go to-
did.
Yes.
Easy did.
Sure, no, easy with the taco. Bell.
Easy
with-
Freshmore's just not
Post
big enough
breakup
to have
Taco
a Taco
Bell.
Bell yet.
Yeah, Lil Leavick in the chat. I'm not into you. Succubus dies. Demon weaknesses are my favorite stuff. Do you know about demon weaknesses?
Yes,
Sully?
you've
The
told me
god?
about the
Because
it's
succubus
so
in particular.
funny.
Yes.
If you tell the
the
wrath
comic of
demon,
the paladin T-posing,
Yep.
it just says I'm asexual and the succubus taking all the mental damage. Like,
if you
so
can
funny.
make the wrath demon not break stuff for one round, it starts dying.
the
Me too.
no, it's destruction demon. Destruction
Destruction
demon
demon.
literally show it. It's a reflection, and it gets mad.
There's one that you just make it not be angry. I'm pretty sure it's of rock.
I think it is. I think it might be
Yeah,
a rock.
you just
It
tell a
stops
rock
doing
to
things.
calm down and it starts melting.
They also have one of my the ones that you can't even actively exploit. They're just funny. Is it Mariliths or Pride demons that like when they make an attack?
That's
they're
it.
just-
That's the original.
the original one. Yeah, the gay wizard and the succubus just taking all the
that's
mental
funny.
damage. Literally, if you're not into the succubus, she takes mental damage. So it's so funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's so horny when they take psychic damage when their advances are not. Okay, that's funny.
Oh, that
Oh.
is funny.
It's hilarious. You can literally make a demoralize, like intimidate to demoralize, and just say like, I don't know, man, I'm not into it, and they're just like, ah, like my corporeal essence, like. But Mariliths get it when they miss. So like literally because they're pride demons and they go to swing a sword at you and you dodge it, they're like, no, it's not better than me. Like, it's
I am perfection. How could I fail?
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh yeah, the ones from Age of Ashes that if he grabs you and you break out, he takes mental damage.
Oh, that'd be a real bad time to have a liberation paladin on your team.
Yeah, no, that
Oh,
would sure
gosh.
suck a whole lot, wouldn't it? If you had a freaking liberator.
I grabbed you.
Ah. It's like, no, come back. You must be contained.
Demons are silly little boys.
On the piggy, you can drop something on the ground and then pick it back up, and he takes mental damage. It's like,
He wants it. It's
I
his,
said, no, this is me. I want it. He's got the grabby hands.
just
Let's
pick
go
you.
around the table. If you had to characterize yourself with one of the demon weaknesses,
Absolutely that one.
Sloth demon.
give me weakness.
No, I'd be
Where do you
sloth.
see
I'd be
yourself?
sloth.
What's this one? What is it? What
I'd be a
does it do?
dretch.
That's the one where he gets D4 actions every turn. Sometimes he's just not feeling it.
That's a good.
That's me.
And the slow condition can further reduce the number of actions.
That's me.
You roll
One
it,
action.
You roll it and then you do the slowed conditions.
That's funny.
You can literally be slowed one and just be like, just not do it.
Not today, boss. I'm not feeling it,
Man.
boss.
So funny.
You slow a dretch and
No,
it rolls
gotta
1
be
3
slot. Yeah,
rounds in a row.
100%. I am slot. I'm the physical embodiment for sure. My my weakness is if I sit down. My hope for getting anything accomplished is done. It's gone. It's over. It's out the window. I am seated now. Corey went through the coffee. What's he got? What's he hitting me?
Colby.
What are things in real
Real
life
life.
that give you mental damage? Seeing your name on an AMA tip
Wet
during
socks.
a talk show.
Wet socks.
Wet socks.
Ooh.
Wet socks.
Corey
is a good
Handsome
answer.
Roof.
Corey Handsome Roof.
Let's see.
Oh no, that's the name he put in. Okay.
So
Okay.
Well,
Wet
that's
socks.
his middle
That's
name.
for
that
you.
you've
Serious
never
answer.
heard.
Oh, that's for, I know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wet sock. Literally, like. I'll go one further because wet socks. While it does happen, that requires me to go outside or something to go catastrophically wrong.
Miso soup.
In my life. Miso soup.
Catastrophically
That
wrong.
gives
Your socks were
that gives
very wet.
Bryn mental damage.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would
Oh.
say when I wake up in the morning and I am missing a sock,
Really?
I hate not having socks on.
Oh.
he
I didn't know it
has-
was that serious.
His like toesies are very off limits.
I don't like the toes being exposed.
One
to
of my
the world.
favorite feelings is when you get into bed with socks and then you just slowly snake them off.
Mhm.
And
No!
then now you're free.
No!
Yeah.
Mental
The
damage.
feeling-
Mental damage.
Ag-
No,
after
mental
working-
damage for me is mushy riverbeds.
Like in your toes?
Yeah.
A lot of toe related activities.
I have to
going
wear
on here.
like river shoes when I go swimming there.
Me too, but it's for the it's a sock thing. Just
It's
longer.
just the sensation gives me an ick.
That's fair. Understandable. So like mud or mushy.
Not
riverbeds.
no,
right.
just the bottom of a river.
I
Oh, it's
wasn't
gotta be,
thinking
like,
of,
underwater. Okay.
physical
Yeah,
sensation.
it's got
I
like a
am
weird
too.
I wasn't
like
thinking,
consistency
I was
to
thinking,
it.
like,
Well,
emotional
what
or
was
social
yours
thing.
then? Then what was yours?
Like like one that used to always really get, and especially when I worked at an amusement park, I would get this a ton from when
You
people
worked in an
would
amusement
tell some. I did.
Which
I was a
one?
costume character, like the thing with the head, and then I ran a ride for a while.
We're learning
I
Sully
won't
lore.
say where. I don't know if I can.
Oh, that's fair.
But no, off there I'll tell you. But oh my gosh, so many really entitled, nasty parents. They would tell their kids that you were going to do something for them without talking to you. And
Yep.
it was stuff you could not do, you weren't allowed to do, just like, oh, don't worry, sweetie, she'll hold the ride for you. And like with this eye contact on you, but they're not nothing. Oh my gosh, that just
You're literally getting mad thinking about it.
it was
Like,
there's nothing more frustrating than it's because it's just like this nasty person. I had this one time I was working. It was considered one of the rides in like my block of rides that I was to cover, but it was the jungle gym. It was like a playground, and my job was to stand at the very top of the jungle gym and not let any parents on the jungle gym, and then specifically to babysit. There were 2 slides. One, any kid could go down, and then the other one you had to be like a foot or 2 or something. Like there was a height requirement, and you couldn't let
you had
any
to
of
not
the
still be
shorties-
like a spherical bean shape.
You had to be
Yeah,
taller
yeah.
than
Be-
Sully.
Yeah, you had to be taller. And so, and it was my job was to not let any kids go down that slide.
Okay.
And I had this one dad who was so mad at me. Because I had just told his kid, who's like 1.5, maybe. Like, I don't even know how she got up there.
Honestly,
and I
impressive.
had like I was like, sorry, sweetie. Like, kind of like, oh, she's gonna crack her head open if she goes down this little tube slide. She's like she's gripping onto the sides as she's walking. And he starts screaming at me from the bottom of his truck, and I'm like looking down, like, I'm so sorry, sir. There's a height requirement. And then he's like coming up, he's storming through the kids coming up the jungle gym. Excuse me, like, you cannot come up from the top of my tower. And then he finally gets up there, and he's cussing me out. He's saying any name that he could call me. He's saying like, "What do you mean? There's a sign down there that says any kid this height, blah blah blah." What do you? And I'm like, "I'm so sorry, sir. There's a sign right here that says your kid is for this." I know it's just for this slide though. Like all this stuff. And before he could really start tearing into me, this jungle gym was right next to, where there was a train crossing. And I start to hear a train coming down the track, and it's right next to it. So it'd be so loud. So it's like, "I'm so sorry, sir. Hold on a second. I can't hear you." And this train passed for like 2 minutes as this guy's like fuming, and he would try to shout and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm so sorry.
You got a
Just give me 1
natural
second."
censorship coming through.
It was so
You got a SpongeBob censorship.
I've never seen somebody more fuming, and every time he was like, "I'm so sorry, I can't hear you."
train.
Oh my god, you're just gonna have to wait. It'll be in just a minute.
Okay, so mushy riverbeds, Karens.
Yes.
What do you got?
I have a lot.
Very mentally fragile man.
I work retail, so a lot of stuff just irritates me. But like
Yeah.
physical touch is, we were talking about it before stream. I cannot express my fingernails touching each other, touching my teeth, or watching other people pick at their fingernails. Like visibly, like I can't. I'll rub my fingernails against my shorts to try to get the feeling out of my mind.
Why are you guys like
Yeah. But like actual dealing with people, when people sit there and stare at me at work, like I'm in this position where they need to get, and they'll just sit there and stare, like dead eye stare. I'm not even looking at them. They don't say a word. They don't say excuse me. They just like I look up, look at them, just go back to what I'm doing, just waiting for them to say something, because I'm like, we have words we can use called excuse and me, and it gets me out of the way most of the time. Like,
It's insane. Like all social knowledge, cues, interactions, they exit some people's brains when they're
you work retail?
forced to interact with with a customer service employee, with a retail employee, with like.
I'm a firm believer of the like. You know, some countries have mandatory military service. I think everybody should have to work at least 1 year in a retail store, in a retail position of some kind, a customer-facing position.
Yes.
The lowest,
At some
the
point,
lowest.
At the lowest, the lowest
That will
ranked customer-facing.
change you.
Like, you need to be a cashier, or you need to like stock shelves or something, or we're gonna customer service desk. Everybody should have to do that for 1 year at some point in their lives, and then everything would make way more sense to everybody. Like it would all would all come together.
Oh
I had a person one time tell me we had an out of stock sticker on a product that wasn't even in my department. They came over, "Do you have any more of this juice in the back?" I'll walk over, see the out of stock sticker, and say, "Oh, there's an out of stock sticker on it, so probably not." You can't always rely on those.
Well, we put it there.
We
for a
have
reason,
zero on
so-
hand. Like it's there for a reason. I don't know what you want from me. It's not even
Hold
my
on,
department.
let me go find the stashed juice.
We keep it, just so you know.
I hid it from my coworker who put the sticker on there.
Back when I worked in retail, this is tangenting super hard, but you know, that's what we're here to do today, honestly. Back when I was working at retail in Idaho when I was in high school, whenever someone would ask me to go check the back for something, like almost without exception, there is not more in the back. Unless, I mean, at least there wasn't like 15 years ago when I was working in retail. If we had it, it would be on the shelf. Believe it or not, the point of the store is to sell you the thing.
we can't
They're
sell
not-
it in the back
It does not sell when it is not available to the customers.
unless it's produce. We have it in the
Whenever
back.
anybody would ask me if to go check the back for something, I would literally walk in the back, pull out my phone, do a raid on Clash of Clans, and then go back out and say like, "I'm sorry, I don't have any." Because you gotta spend time or they won't listen to you.
Right, yeah.
I
walk-
literally would just play Clash of Clans and then go back out front.
I walk in the back, walk into our cooler, kind of do a little twirl in the cooler, walk back out. Like it's like 5 seconds. Like, nope, don't have any. Sorry. Like I don't even give any time to rest. Like, no, I'm good.
I had an old man try and like buck up at me and stuff. I'm talking like 5'5" at best, because I told him that the cables in his house were damaged by lightning back when I worked for Spectrum, and he's like getting mad at me about it, and he's like, "Put the box back in." I was like, "But it's not going to work. That's why you called.
Dude, that's why I'm
Like
here.
the cables need to be replaced." And he's just getting mad and like literally clenching his fists at his sides and stuff. And I'm just looking at this. I'm 6'1". I'm a pretty big guy, and he's a very small old man. I'm like, "Don't hit me. You will hurt yourself. Please,
Dude, please.
please don't." Like,
Your fragile little fingies.
you can't even reach my face without jumping, sir. Please.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
There are a lot of people out there that are all sorts of like almost like the
Yep.
exact same thing you dealt with.
I don't
we
get
got
it.
lots
You
of
literally,
that.
magical experience.
you be as nice as possible to me, and I'll bend over backwards to get you whatever you want. I will go back and actually look through birds of product for your stuff if you're just nice.
I do not.
Not even hard. Excuse me, sir. Do you have any more of this? I don't know. Let me go check. You don't have to worry about it. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
And that's how you like. I don't know. It's just insane to me that the default reaction is just like
I tell
be an
people we have
ass.
a lot
Yeah.
of good customers.
because like that they're just gonna not do it.
Next tangent, go.
Pukey. Okay, so that's
oh my
Link.
gosh.
Link, what do you have for us today? What did Pukey do to you?
It's just
That's
when
all I
you
saw.
send a
That's
JPEG,
all there
it's
was.
just gonna be a picture of George.
It's literally just
It'll
gonna
say
be
discuss.
an Imgur link
Wait,
to a
hold on.
picture of George.
Tim C, how much do you weigh? Because height. No, he
Tim
said
C-
he-
What are you doing?
He said he's 6'5".
Challenge
Challenge
accepted.
accepted.
Yeah, Arcade
How
said in
much
the
do
chat
you
that Derp's
weigh?
threat to pick you up if he meets you at a con.
Because if
very
it's
real.
not
Oh.
400 or
Thing.
more, I can pick you up like you're nothing.
He's
255.
255.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
255, you're done.
Derp's picking your ass up. You're not remaining on the
Derp is
ground.
a big man.
Like, there's a big fella.
I'm 300 pounds.
He's a strong lad.
I'm 150-ish. I lost weight.
I can pick up Colby with one arm, like
Well, yeah,
no
I
problem.
don't weigh nothing. I'm 6'6"
You are
and I
a
weigh
stick
literally
man.
nothing. Like I was 145.
We are similar archetypes.
Yeah. I don't exist. I'm not real.
You're a figment of our imagination. You
Mhm.
literally
It's like
walk out
Sully.
the door of the studio after the show, and then you are just gone. To
Gone.
the ether. Until the whenever
I'm a
the
ghost
next time
haunting
is.
this.
Link,
this
that doesn't
thing.
matter. You're within pickup range.
Everybody in here so tall.
All right, let's see. Okay,
Can you carry me bridal style?
Our message.
Can he carry me bridal
I'm ready.
style though? Can
Well,
he carry
Arcadis
me
started laughing.
romantically
He
into the
refreshed coffee and
sunset?
started laughing, so that's okay. What a
Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's weird.
Yes, I can, handsome
Why
canker.
MD?
I can do
you do?
bridal style.
Nothing.
I can do a fireman carry. I'll do a princess lift.
This is what we
Watch,
call. That's
next
what we
week
call.
Link is gonna cash in for a whoa and just be like, just MD, please.
That-
target this.
What that whole interaction was retail.
With George.
He just so his AMA was just spits on MD. That's like I don't know what you.
It's
What
fine.
did you do?
I deserve it.
What did you do?
A dollar
Nothing.
well spent.
I just deserve
A
it.
dollar was value. True
You know
value
what?
out of the dollar.
I'm not.
It
I'm
appeals
not
to
above
everybody.
it. $1 spit on me. Let's go.
I think, honestly, looking back at chapter 2
You
of
didn't
Aeons
make it on time. This is a talk show.
so far
First time chat. I
You-
didn't really tell you that.
are probably like bottom 2 for like it has been the furthest from a death scare. Easy's obviously number 1.
Yes.
And then I think you two
Mhm.
have been decently in danger.
When was I in danger?
I feel like I definitely.
There
edged
was
him out.
there was an encounter where all three of you went down.
Yes, there was that one with the bomb, and Marcus dodged it.
Yeah.
It was the opening of a
To open the
session.
door and it just exploded.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
because
Me,
you.
and Easy all
That
went
was
down.
not the
I-
encounter. That was you.
Did not balance that well, but it was a whoa that I just pulled out of my butt on the moment.
I've
and
had many attempts on my life. I want my second place position.
You definitely number 2. No,
No,
for
no,
sure.
no.
It's
Mark-
100% Easy and then Cammy
Yeah.
are the 2 that have been the most mortally threatened throughout chapter 2.
We've been
And
I
hurting.
wasn't particularly in danger. I just
you just got to close. You've been closer than MD.
Yeah, you've been
I've never gone past dying 2.
You've been dying 3. I think you.
Yeah, dying 3 with
you have
Die
Die
Hard.
right?
no. I have Mortalis coins,
I don't think
Right.
I've been dying.
but basically, I functionally have Die
I think I've
Hard.
just been dying too.
You just stress out a lot. You make it seem.
I do get
Maybe he
scared.
has actually.
But
closer
dying
than you
2 to
have.
her is way more fatal than dying 2 to me because I have actual Die Hard.
But I'm not talking about like things that necessarily targeted you because like you MD got attacked by the Revenant, but you didn't even go down.
No.
Like, there was never any massive danger there or anything. You were okay,
Yeah.
even though that was a terrifying missile that I was very much worried about. Had
Yeah.
warned the party pre-episode. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Just so you know.
we're gonna have a combat. You should probably take it a little seriously. It's like this is a spooker. This one is angry. Let me pull up real quick just for purposes of comparison, because I'll just talk about it directly now. Let me grab its stats.
Mm.
And then keep in mind
Oh gosh!
Oh, that's true. I guess your lizard has
lizard
been
did die.
stomped out of existence.
He did die.
Blue did get
Blue did die.
destroyed.
You're the blue
That was-
smudge
Blue.
He became a blue smudge.
on my chest.
So
It
this
was
Revenant,
so sad.
you
That was
guys
so sad.
were 4 when the Revenant attacked you, I think?
Yes.
I think so.
I
Think
think you were
so,
level
yeah.
4. So you were 3 levels back. So your ACs were all 3 lower. I don't think anyone's gone up a proficiency in armor yet. Your AC was 3 lower. Your saves were 3 to 5 lower because you have probably all had at least some saving throw proficiency increases since then. Because I think everyone gets one at 7 or at 5, one of those two. Point is, you've definitely had one. This nice lady comes in the room with 2 buttons. Button the first is a DC 23 will save.
I know I failed that one.
So imagine your saves now are somewhere in like the 14-ish range. You're like 3 to 5 lower. So you're like you were somewhere between like with decent saves.
9.
We're 9 to 11 was about where you guys were at. So we're looking at like 14s for a regular success, and on a regular success, you are frightened 2, which is just
Oh yeah, I crit
Yeah.
failed, but because I'm immune to basically all of that, it didn't do anything.
Crit fail is frightened 3.
and
you
fleeing.
It's paralyzed. Fail or
Then I
crit fail
didn't
was
crit fail.
paralyzed.
I got
think
the
I
paralyzed.
succeeded.
You got paralyzed.
Mhm.
I think you critically failed
Yes.
because you had it for more than 1 round. Because it's only 1 round on a regular failure.
Yeah, no, I must have crit failed.
I
I
believe
think-
I had succeeded or
I
failed.
think you did crit fail that. I think you're the only one who critically failed that one.
Yeah.
So then you're going in frightened 2. So think about what's your ACs right now? You didn't have
6.
full plate either.
2021.
So
I believe I was AC 22 for that.
you were 22. You
I
guys
was
are.
same as his. At that
Oh,
point.
I would have been low.
No, mine was
I am
one
now.
You
higher.
were like 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
because
At
I
level
had
4?
huh?
Level 4?
Mine was one higher than yours because I had actual armor for Dex. I had my
Yeah,
Dex.
Yeah, that was
That's
before
right.
you
I
got
had
your good
lower
armor
than
on.
I
So you
should
might have
have,
actually had
yeah.
21. So we had like 21 and 19. So then, even on a success, you're frightened 2. So now, functionally, your AC is 17 to 19. And she swings at plus 17. So she comes in the room, screams, and then starts swinging at plus your entire AC. Only specifically targeting one person. For
Well-
not a small amount of damage at that level either.
rolled like a champ that entire combat.
It's pretty hurty. And the reason it's lethal is like while the monster is a degree of dangerous, they are a nuclear missile, it's actually worse than that. So your AC's functionally 19 because you're frightened too. She also gets a +2 against you.
Yeah.
So her attack roll is 19. She's rolling at your AC. She crits you on a 10. She has a 55% crit chance. Just swinging normally. And
that's
she
about what I can do now.
yeah, and she has grab. And her athletics DC is 1 billion, and it's 2 higher for you because all of her checks and DCs are 2 higher for you, including the saving throw against the scream, but you somehow passed. It's iffy. It's a dangerous.
Somebody did the cheers. Stay hydrated. We
I drank all my water.
I moved my chat away for a second
give you
to
some.
pull us back over. Consume. I was looking at
So-
the Revenant stat block.
Perfect.
Pimp
Drink.
seat.
Cheers. Tink.
I can't reach you guys. I'm too far away. I don't have
Mug.
picture.
I actually
There's
don't.
nothing in your mug.
I haven't been keeping track of all my nat ones across the entire thing, but I do track my rolls on one particular die on a sheet of paper.
The question was how
single
many nat
session.
ones has MD had this season?
Yeah.
And are you keeping track?
Yeah.
Which you
From
do.
Tipsy.
So,
I
yes,
keep
they
track
did.
of my rolls, yeah.
He does now.
And I roll actually really consistently average. So
I don't.
I know you just.
It's like everyone does.
I know it's just like all the important rolls are always low.
Are they?
Yes.
Or do you just remember those ones?
No, they're
All right,
always
track
low.
your rolls just only on what you consider to be an important roll.
Yes, a new category.
But only if you consider it to be important before you roll. Not if you
Yes.
roll a 1, then you're like, oh, that was important. I'm putting that one in the book of grudges. It's got you have to
It's a
consider it
grudging.
important before you roll the d20. Because I think you will also find that to be surprisingly average. Because that is just kind of how they work.
Unless you're Riley.
I would like to
Unless
point
you're
out
Riley.
Oh, poor Riley.
that there has been
Riley's cursed.
two
She
separate
is.
instances. One was in War for the Crown, and one was in Abomination Vaults, I think 3 weeks ago, where I, by myself, have rolled 8+ nat 20s in a single session. You remember the episode from War for the
Yes.
Crown in the field?
Yes, I do.
I'm
When
pretty
you
sure
suplexed a lion and we
I
made a shirt
suplexed
out
the
of it.
lion,
Yeah.
but I got like 13 nat 20s, and there was like 18 across the party.
Not just a lion, a dire lion.
Dire lion. I manhandled it by myself.
Absolutely manhandled the lion.
But I'm pretty sure I don't roll average. Not everybody rolls average.
No,
sir.
he's on the upper end. I'm on the lower end because I did roll like 5 1s in the first session of that set of
I
dice.
think you roll pretty normal. It's just that especially in this Strange Aeons, as a fighter, like your chances of success on most of the rolls that you make are just a lot higher.
Yeah.
Because that's like the thing that you do. You also roll a lot more. Okay, a Saint 221 says, Malevolence! Play wrong stuff. What is everyone's favorite side quest from this book? I was getting to the question I want to ask later. This is like a bonus version of it. Everyone's favorite side quests. I'm not sure how to delineate a side quest.
It all
so
feels like
They
it's
all
part
go
of main
back together.
quest.
I'm gonna take that as like a side scene, like a less a divulgence from like the main path or like a specific mini arc like Fort Holocaust or Old Shop or whatever. I'm gonna take it more as a side quest, as something that the whole party wasn't involved in, a thing that only 1 or 2 people went after. And for me personally, and we will have an opportunity possibly to talk about this some more on the finale, if that is something Kevin wants in his life. I really liked the scene after Reese attacked the party and then Kevin still agreed to have Easy go with her.
That's the same one I was
Yeah.
going to
I was
say.
thinking the same
After-
one too.
Immediately after she tried to murder all of you, he went with her. And then very almost died. That was 100%. I said it before. I'll say it again. Those are real death rolls. If you rolled that out and he died, he died.
Yeah.
That was 100% winning that, ready for that to happen. Not ready like I wanted it to happen, but knowing it was a pretty decent chance. Without hero points, since he was starting at dying 2, I think he had a 55% chance to die. It was close to 50-50, but I think he was more likely to die than not. Especially because at 2 you can instantly die,
Yeah.
rolling a 1 or a 2 on the save on the death roll, and he has no die hard. He's got no toughness. He has nothing buffing those death checks. He just had to eat them. That's mine.
That was.
I think we all agree.
I think we all agree.
That was you two
There's-
immediately said yeah that one.
Yeah.
That was
I loved that scene.
There's a lot of good scenes throughout this book. But that one, like, above all, is like up there.
One of my favorites also related to Reese, but before we had met Reese, was the entire
There's
figuring
no knife
out where
prints.
Kevin went.
That was a silly one. There were no knife prints.
The little detective scene trying to put together what happened.
It's like, so you're telling me?
I just like Kevin's not here, and he starts describing what we see. Like, okay, we got this. Because it was just us 3 there.
Yeah.
too,
That was
because
just,
Marcus
there were
was.
many episodes early on, where it was just us 3.
Now,
There's
you-
only one or two. It was one or
There's
two.
2
One or two.
or 1 or 2.
well,
Okay.
the team
Automatic.
composition works well for us 3 because
Yeah.
we've actually had this discussion outside of stream. If it was like minus you and Marius was there instead, we don't have enough healing to
You
function.
literally just had 3 marshals.
Yeah. And then we put the bard easy there, and then kind of the same thing because you have the most healing and you have consistent healing.
Yeah.
And we have very high damage output, and we're both relatively tanky. So with us 3, it functions.
Yeah.
But if you swap it out, it kind of starts to fall apart.
It's pretty hard to do with any other group of 3. Like you could swap either of you two for Marius, and it would still be fairly functional because either of you can be in the front decently well.
Mhm.
And since Marius can do melee or ranged relatively effectively, you don't have to worry about like losing gang up abilities, or like you can still take it, he can stay back. But like even swapping, just because of the way that your characters are built, Like if it was easy instead of Cammy,
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be nearly as functional. Just
You
because
also couldn't have me and Easy on the same group of
if it was just you and Easy, yeah, then there'd only be one person who could take a hit
Yeah.
without crumpling immediately. You need like 2. I think it has the only way.
Three-player parties are so hard to balance.
So yeah, it is, yeah. And Pathfinder is very, very class based, which is a thing that I like. I do like that a lot. I am a firm believer that characters should do things instead of just be like fully self-sufficient entities. Like it is a party-based game. That's what it's built for. It does a good job of that.
3 and 2-man parties, like if that's what you're going with, you can just gestalt it and it becomes much more balanced.
Well, it's also, you have to really think about how you're doing equipment too, because you can go without a healer if you have healing potions. It's just you're actually
They've
gets eaten
given
up.
way more non-magical healing options.
Yeah, so like that's something you could do. It's
that's
just like
great.
you have to have an economy for that. You have to have money set aside for that, so you're not buying new
Or
equipment.
things like the forensic medicine investigator
Yeah.
or the Kyrigian alchemist.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of that are still useful
'Cause-
classes that are just non-healers, but even like lay on hands is great. Not
Yeah.
only like any champion, but also there's just the archetype. But just you have lay on hands.
a
now,
common,
you just have
common archetype.
unlimited throughput. That you just like you take a rest for a while. You just every 10 minutes someone's getting a lay on hands of health back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes forever.
That's what I'm trying to do with MD. Is just kind of supplement all our healing with setting aside gold for potions.
Yeah.
Which is never a bad idea.
Because yeah,
We actually, behind the scenes, talked about this pretty recently, that it's getting to the point in the game. We got some people that are newish to Pathfinder. I mean, you haven't played a ton.
Yeah. This
Kevin,
is it.
Marcus
This
has
is what
not
I've played.
played a ton. Yeah, you guys have played Strange Aeons. And Marcus has only played like a book and a half of Strange Aeons.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point you guys have never seen like mid game before, where you need to be able to effectively attack as a party with different types of damage. Like you need to be able to deal with this monster's immune to piercing,
Mhm.
or this monster is immune to frightened, or this monster is invisible. You got to be able to deal with different things outside of the standard, like walk up to a guy and then hit him until he falls over, which means backup weapons, which means consumables, which means options like that. Because the thing we were talking about before with the flat weaknesses, in a lot of situations, it's better to just pull out a literally unenchanted knife than it is to keep bonking somebody with your like +2 striking hammer. Because if they're immune or even pretty resistant to bludgeoning and they're weak 10 to piercing, you're gonna do more with the knife than you are with the hammer.
Right.
That's why
got it.
versatile is really nice.
Versatile is, I truly believe, the best weapon trait. Like versatile is a phenomenal trait. It just
I
lets you do different
technically
types of damage.
Gave my spear bludgeoning versatile. It just requires setup, which for a one-handed reach weapon, being able to do bludgeoning with it is nice.
A Sane 221 again. All right, now I want to know everyone's favorite main quest set piece. This is great. The main question I wanted to ask at some point, this was what was everyone's favorite
so
moment in chapter
hard.
2. So like we're on the same track here, is saying perfect brain synergy. Favorite main set piece or main plot moment or arc of the adventure or whatever. His question was favorite main quest moment.
I know
It's so
this.
hard to qualify between side and main.
No,
I'm
this
trying to-
this one's easy.
I know
Yeah.
Derps.
Well, for
Derp,
you-
go ahead, Derp.
Yeah. So Fort Halicourse, fighting
Oh.
from the
It was fun.
ramparts, defending the small like guardhouse thing on top was really nice because I got to take down 1.5 skeletons per turn. I got to do fighter things. I got to literally hold a door against waves of enemies. I got to do all the fighter things.
it
And that was
made the
just really fun.
tactical. It made the tactical tabletop player
Yeah,
inside
it
of
was a
Derp's
war
heart
game.
cry with joy.
I don't remember the number of kills.
I
that we
believe I ended
It
up
was
with
in, like,
34 kills.
Yeah, the total number of kills was in like the 40s, I think.
That I would
Over
have
the course of that?
34 assists.
You had many.
All the
many
stoke.
assists. What's
No, stoke was
funny?
huge.
That was the time I did the triple stoke.
Yeah, we were just stoking,
Yeah.
stoking, and you just going.
Everyone look
fighting,
under your
keeping everyone
chairs.
Stoked. Sit in the back, just team party support. The funny part about the Fort Halicourse fight is that you guys actually.
Oh, no. You don't want to see me play a magic caster. I was actually banned from playing cleric in Squid's games for a couple years.
Yeah, well, it was also first edition. They
Yeah.
were very broken. He would not play them, not very broken. So we took that toy away. We actually kind of immediately destroyed my plan for the Fort Halicourse fight. by the fact that you ignored. Like this is the For Halicore is the perfect example of it is literally impossible to predict what insane unhinged thoughts are just going to jump into the minds of your players, and they are immediately going to cave to the voices and just do whatever occurs to them.
Storm the castle.
They show up on a rampart, and two big, very obvious oozes start pulsing and making alarm noises. Do they go fight them? No. No, they don't. They can literally hear and see enemies coming out of the towers. They know the fort is full of enemies. So what do? Hey, that room the enemies aren't pouring out of. Let's go open it and hope there's not mini bosses inside or something worse. We're not finding enough stuff. Let's just go in there. What's the worst that can happen?
Shelter.
I literally
got
had giant, glowing, screaming objectives on the rampart.
Do you know what those
and you ignored them
No.
for like 5 rounds while you hid in a box.
We didn't ignore them. We used them to clear the fort.
No, we let Marcus take care
We
of
chose
them.
to
That's
go
what we
loud
did.
for this mission.
This is
Marcus
Marius's
single-handedly
problem. Like,
They're far away. He has the far away touch weapons.
adds up.
the whole concept I had for the fight was like a very wide-ranging battle across like the whole of the ramparts, because the two were very intentionally super far away from each other, and that you would have to either go from A to B to C or split up, because you were kind of in the middle of where they both were too. So if you went to one and then you all wanted to go back around, that was a long journey. Or if you split to both of them, because then enemies were just going to keep coming out of all of the different towers. There were going to be groups of archers coming out on like distant ramparts that were a problem, like the ones that showed up in the tower near the end. And then none of that, I had to kind of reconfigure the entire thing on the fly, because you just sat in a box and ignored the literal screaming objective for like 5 rounds, except Marcus. Shout outs to Marcus. Realizing that maybe we should do something about that.
I don't have a ranged weapon.
I built a pile to my hubris made of bones.
They can't get to the door if the door has 30 corpses piled up in it. Now I'm immune.
I was just building another door.
What do you got? Either of you two.
I've got like a couple that I think. Honestly, one of my very favorite parts of Strange Aeons was the first flashback, which was the Cammy synesthesia
The torture.
flashback. Was so, because it was like it was the first one I had ever had, and it was just so completely out of. I loved that one.
That was also probably one of the,
fun.
if not like the wildest flashback.
Yes.
Because not all of them were super intense.
Right.
I
murdered a
literally.
lady.
Hey, how's this gun sound?
That's that and MD's murder
Mhm.
were probably the two the most intensive ones
Yeah.
for sure. The synesthesia torture, I think, being like an entire magnitude.
Such a good scene.
higher. It's
Oh
just
my gosh.
It's such a good spell.
I
It's
wanted
such a
it
good spell.
up front because I wanted very early in you starting to remember bits of who you were to be like, oh, we were the worst.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't just bad, we were bad.
It
bad.
was such a good smash cut, being the first, like, the first flashback of the season to be like, oh no, like that.
We were
that is a new
terrible
kind of
people.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Now, so you
That
say
one's
we
way
were
up there
bad.
for me.
I say badass. Because I never had a bad flashback. Never had a single bad flashback.
He hasn't.
He
It
hasn't.
comes out on top.
He does.
Trey's always winning.
Never punished.
Puzzle had a great life.
Derp is never punished.
He's never.
Even when you get to write his character for him, he's still not punished.
you have the power,
You had the
you
power.
don't choose to use it.
I even pre-built my character knowing what, because of the stat and everything,
My
I
man,
was able to guess exactly what I was.
my man hoodwinked all of us.
You got the strength rogue. No one's ready for the strength.
No one's
rogue.
ready
I
for the
was
strength
just told
roll.
I would have the most complicated one, and half of these people said I don't want to play a magic user.
Yeah,
in the,
we had a
in the
little.
session 0. So I was like,
Everybody got vetoes, and I think
I said
literally
no barbarian.
It was-
2 or 3 people said no caster.
Yeah,
Or-
I think it was just me and Kevin didn't say it.
He didn't say. Derp didn't say no.
I
Oh,
just
did
said
you
no
not?
He
barbarian.
didn't want to be a
Oh, you didn't
barbarian
want the
specifically.
I didn't want to be. I just didn't want to be a caster coming off a Raz.
Yeah.
So
He didn't want to be a
I knew
caster.
it was
I only had
written
like
on the wall.
I only had 2 or 3 options.
Yeah.
And like at that point, there's gonna be probably more than one caster.
Yep.
So you
I
know
knew.
where
I
we're
knew
going.
after I walked out of that meeting, I was like, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna
He
do
could
it.
have made
gonna
me
be
a
doing this.
goblin
Man.
sorcerer, and I would have had a
Somebody
great
got it.
time.
But yeah, the Synesthesia torture was,
That's way up there for me.
I think, probably one of my best ideas
I
I
love
had for
that
book
one.
2.
That one's way up there for me.
Creative use
Succeeding
of
the
the
save for the bomb in my brain.
Oh.
I've never felt such a rush. That whole fight then that followed it also was so good, but like
You needed like a 16 or a 17. It was
it was
a big. Let me. I got a.
well, and
stats
I'd
right
been
here.
sitting on that it had just been 1 week or had it been 2 weeks since we had found out it was
I think
going to
it's
happen.
been 2
You, I
It
think
had
you
been
had
2
it.
weeks.
You had it for 2
I had
weeks.
been like worried
because you were
about,
just
I was
absolutely stressing every
yes.
week about what the
oh
bomb
my
in your
gosh.
brain was
Waiting
going to do.
2 weeks to make that roll was insane.
I wasn't going to do that immediately. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
It was.
Oh, somebody counted the bodies.
Oh,
Somebody went back and counted the bodies.
did somebody or did
Somebody
Arcadis
is
go
Arcadis
back?
because he has the map.
Oh, he got it.
Hey, there we
Okay,
go.
so let's
Math.
see. We have 23
40,
skeletons,
45,
17
Yeah, 20, 43. It's 45.
fish, 2 alarm oozes, 3
Now,
assorted
you don't get the alarm
mini-bosses.
oozes. Marcus gets the alarm ooze.
No, I believe I
So
killed
that's-
34 of them.
So yeah, 17
Yeah.
fish, 23 skeletons, 2 alarm oozes, 3 assorted mini bosses, and it's Thol, who is still alive.
Oh yeah, he made it.
yeah.
1 man lived.
Unknown. The DC was 28.
Oh
For
my
your brain bomb.
gosh, really?
It was very high. I
Jeez.
mentally, like, my thought was you're rolling to fail or critically fail.
Yeah.
Was basically the delineation. It was, are you going to, because if you fail, you get another attempt
Yeah.
basically each round because you can just keep trying to fight it. If you critically fail, I'm just like, we're going.
Yeah.
So that was what I figured. It was between fail and critical fail.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got really lucky on my saves in general this season because there was also the poison thing that I was supposed to go down to.
Dempsey said, who's the original party member Marcus replaced? I forgot what happened there. We had a swashbuckler originally for a little bit. There was a fetchling swashbuckler that we didn't end up even getting like super into. So there's, I guess it worked out better that it was before we got really deep into like all of the character backgrounds and everything. Before we just, issues happen. Sometimes casts have to switch around. Age of Ashes, I literally think we changed our cast like
I got
more
told,
than once per book.
I got told I was replacing somebody in Age of Ashes, and then they're like, "You're gonna play with Bryn." So I made a whole character to play with Bryn, and turned out I got
Bryn was who
hoodwinked.
you were
I got hoodwinked and was switching with Bryn. But my favorite, I can't really think like for me personally. My most fun I had was Fort Holocaust when I got to run across the the ramparts and just use all the feats I been
You're gonna jump
collecting.
off a tower, run back over, then jump off
I
a
got
tower.
these, I got my zoomy feet spell to go off. I could jump off the tower, run back up the tower, jump off the tower, do some cool stuff. But I'm just going off MD scenes. I really like the Revenant scene too.
That was fun.
Yeah, the flashback to the Revenant, the murder, and the whole scene afterwards was a lot of fun.
Also, how dare they throw me off the ramparts just for me to crit stab them as they run by? They did this to themselves.
That's
was
up there with
so-
my favorite moments. Was me and Kevin running to the side of the rampart. Like, oh no, he got
he
thrown
okay?
off.
You look
and
down,
then you
he's
see him
just
scream
skewering
and run off,
people.
and we're both like,
He's fine.
spells.
Go, my child,
son.
commit violence.
But no, it's believe it or not, even though we do this as like a regular stream, the hardest part is still trying to get like 7 people to consistently be able to come do an imaginary Fantasyland game.
We've been doing good.
We've
I-
been doing pretty good, honestly, but that is definitely still the hardest part for us too.
I dedicate my weekends to this.
Yeah, this is
So-
like
I
I structured this.
Literally told my
I come
boss,
here on
I
Saturday.
am
Corey comes
free.
here on Sunday.
You guys tag out on the way by.
I
said bye.
tell my boss I am free to work any schedule, any shift. I just got to be off by 1 on Saturdays.
Yeah, I think Derp you've only ever missed like 1 or 2 episodes ever. I
Yeah.
think you've had to be out for like less than I have. Honestly.
I missed 1 or 2 in season 1, and that was it.
Right.
And
Hell,
then nothing in season
I don't
2.
think I've missed any yet for Strange Aeons.
The very first
Oh,
episode that I
not
was
sure.
on, I was actually late, and that was on the Paizo channel because I had just gone to a job interview that lasted a bit longer than it should have. And I'm like in the call listening on the way back to my house, and you guys are doing the intros. I'm like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Oh gosh.
So they saved me specifically for last. so that I got down, I sat down, I'm like, oh, what's going on? They're like, and no. And I just did my character intro.
Oh my god.
Or you
Perfect.
just missed all of level 1. I got to run that high.
Yeah, you missed 1/3 of Quest for the Frozen
There's like
Flame.
3. It was 3 episodes. I forget exactly what was going. It was work. It was
I'm
all.
sure it was just scheduling.
It was just
crap.
scheduled. It was like during a holiday or something like that. And they needed me at work, but
You literally you missed the entirety of level 1.
yeah.
Like you missed from
And
the intro to hitting level 2, and then you came back.
Introduced my character and said, "Ciao."
Bye.
Deuces. You guys thought you had a healer, idiots. Bye.
And then like the sessions I did get to play, no one touched me. So
No, I did miss one episode of season 2. I
dare
missed
you.
when they got cursed.
That's
Yes.
true.
That's true.
You
Because I
came
was
back,
still
you're
in
like,
St.
why is
Louis.
everyone on fire?
Yeah,
Like,
I was still home.
that's some sick armor you guys got. Where'd you
Yeah,
get that
it's
from?
dude, that's got cool white fire on there. It's like World of Warcraft armor. You had the big
Really
flaming
shiny.
pauldrons. And it just hurts and it's sucky the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's gone now.
I didn't have a problem with it.
That's true. It's not like you try to sneak, really.
I-
and it's
Every time I try to sneak, it fails anyway. So just chalked it up for me being a bad sneaker.
that's a so yeah. Speaking of things that like I'm not gonna go through and custom upgrade a creature when I can just find a new one. Since she is gone now and she does not matter anymore, Namira has been laid to rest. It was one of these things. This is called a Witchfire.
Oh.
Was what I was using for her stat block. Some of you may have been able to put that together because it is a pretty distinctive monster. Well, with the curse that sets you on fire forever, and it's a 2-carder, so like there's a lot of stuff going on in there. But I was just looking through, because as written, she's just a little caster. She's got little slappy tentacles. She doesn't really do a ton. The main thing that she has is that whatever's going on with her, she can basically astral project. And I just kept that. And literally, it's straight up a witch. I did not modify the stat block at all. She was exactly 100% a Witchfire. With the Witchfire's spell list and with its little cursed fire abilities and everything that it does, it was exactly this bestiary monster.
Dang.
So, I have been asked a couple of times throughout various adventures how I go about it, either adapting things to 2nd edition or coming up with the stuff that I do when I'm making changes to the adventures, because I've always modified the hell out of the adventures that I'm running, and like how hard it is to make balanced stat blocks and stuff. You don't. Just
You just change the skin.
just find something that is generally like, this is supposed to be like the spirit of a forest fire, basically. Like, this is a cursed forest fire fairy ghost. Like, it's not thematically it's not even in the same ballpark as what Namira is.
You just
but
reskin it.
It's a level 9 creature. That's the level of creature that I need. It's got some cool abilities. That's neat. And literally, it's 100% just a reskin. So the tentacles just did its little ghosty fire touch and shot its little white flames. And like that fits. Do I still have the card in here? I think I put it away
Don't
already.
forget,
That was too
cut
long
your
ago.
enemy's health in half.
If there's more than one enemy, just cut it in
Yeah.
half. I'm pretty sure Mr. X was it was literally a gorilla. It was
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Mr. X is straight up a Mega Primatus.
Oh
It
my
was-
gosh.
Just straight up a gorilla. I swapped out an ability or two, but it was basically just a gorilla.
Yeah, he
Because-
still had the yellow sign power.
He had the yellow sign thing. I think it was a modified terrifying display. His terrifying display is basically confusion instead of frightened. But same concept. And then he was just and he had the there was an ability, I can't remember what I pulled it from, but there's another creature that has make a ranged attack with somebody that you have grabbed.
Yeah.
And you throw
The
them,
ghost
and
did
then
that.
They both take after that. Mr. X did that.
The
The ghost did
The
ghost
ghost.
clotheslined you.
Yeah.
He clotheslined with
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The-
because he was the luchador ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a grappling spirit. Mr. X had I found it in the there's a Pathfinder 2e stat builder thing that you can look up templates for or monsters or abilities or whatever. There was something that had if you have a dude grabbed, make a ranged attack. He's not grabbed anymore. That dude takes half the damage, and this is whatever. I gave him that instead of the rend because rend doesn't really make sense.
That almost sounds like a wrestler thing.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's actually from a way higher level creature. I think I nerfed it a little bit because it's from like an 18th level creature or something. But that was really cool. I mean, yeah, I guess it's basically Whirling Throw. It's the same concept, but it was a monster ability with a similar name because there was no check or anything. It was just straight up ranged attack roll. The weapon is the dude that you just had grabbed.
This is rude.
Because it was 100%. When I was putting this all together, for those of you anyone that might watch my personal stream, I was putting a lot of this together around the time that I was playing like the Resident Evil 2 remake. So it was very literally just Mr. X. Because he doesn't do anything in the book. Let me find his stat block. Because the Keeper in Yellow is back here too. He's a monster from Strange Aeons. And I truly do not think he does anything. He exists.
Dang.
All right, my guy. He's got a big old 2-page spread. He's a fancy little fella, but so 2 pages is a whole lot of nothing. So as written, he's a guy. He's got magic weapons or silver. He touches people. He's got some little slams. He's really not a physical fighter at all. He doesn't really do anything. His main thing is that like he touches you, and it does level drain, which was a super fun mechanic in first edition. Everybody loves negative levels. Negative levels were cool and fun, right? You guys okay over there?
No.
I'm causing
Derp's
chaos.
losing privileges right now. That's what's happening.
But his
We were
main
building
thing,
a lovely tower, and he squashed it.
his main thing is written is he just touches you and gives you negative levels. Oh, it's pretty resilient.
Magnets.
What? And he's got an aura that makes you more vulnerable to fear effects.
They think I don't have like 13 things in
Like,
my
you'll
desk
run
I
out
can just
eventually,
keep.
But
But
an
it
aura
is-
that makes your attacks a little bit worse. But he doesn't really do anything. He's like just a weird little negative level caster guy. That was lame and boring. He's also just supposed to be a one-off encounter. What even is that?
My water stuff.
Oh, you're like water flavoring.
Yeah.
He's also supposed to be,
It's too big. It won't go into the mic.
as written, just a one-off encounter. I give up.
We're having it. He's also written as a one-off encounter.
Yes.
Now this is the Eraser show now.
It doesn't hold very well like that.
I didn't even
You're
have
losing.
to do anything.
Everyone's losing
Just
their
the
thing
threat.
privileges. It might have been a zombie hook throw. I'm not sure. It was just something that was a similar thing that I could
Arcade
use.
is over here furiously researching or playing.
You didn't give us your favorite main quest moment
Yeah.
yet, sir.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
No, he
Did you?
Yeah.
It was the.
He talked about the
Revenant
ramparts and being able to
and-
use a lot of his
and the
rogue
ramparts.
feats.
Oh,
So
we did that as like a subset of what you were talking about. Fair enough.
The
Who's your
ramparts.
favorite?
My favorite main quest moment.
Did you do a second?
Was the friends we made along the way.
Unironically, I guess. I
Reese.
hmm.
Everything involving Reese.
My immediate thought is just like, yeah, something involving Reese, because I really like I, as every GM, appreciate the hell out of it when the players like buy into stuff, and Kevin is 4,000% on board with the Reese thing.
It's
Yes.
so great.
He's 100,000,000% into that, but same with Wyrelai. Maybe just recency bias for me.
Hmm.
But I did not expect you guys to like Wyrelai as much as you did.
I love
Oh,
it.
she's
Because-
perfectly harmless.
Well, but I mean, like beyond that, like when that fight started, several of you like said out loud, "I don't feel good about this. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to fight this lady. I don't want to have to kill her," which is interesting. Because yeah, she answered all your questions, I guess, because she doesn't care. She still fought you. She's still super not on your team, and
I just asked if we could find her again on the other side.
she all but like directly said that like she is the most direct reason you guys don't have your minds. Like she is literally the one that did the ritual that gave your minds to the mad poet. She's like, that was me. They took me to run that. I was like, I offered up the ritual, I ran everything, and then helped to give your brain, give your memories over. So like, I did that, and
All I heard
bang.
was Melisande did that.
Bang, bang. Easy.
Quick favorite NPC, not big enemy. Bang Bang.
Bang Bang is up there.
Bang Bang is up
It's
there.
hard to come up with an NPC that has not been an enemy at some point.
All right, so
Not
here's
big enemy. Could be
not
minor
big
enemy. Not like Reese or Melisson.
So
Yeah.
specifically with Rirelai,
I think you were gonna say.
because, just because she did.
Well, hold
the
on, we
rich-
gotta get there. We gotta get their favorite NPC.
Oh, you said Bang Bang.
I mean, Bang Bang's up there. It might be Bang Bang. I'm trying to remember.
you didn't give me any friends, so
Yeah, you got a plant.
I got.
Yeah,
It didn't
funny,
say
you know,
friend. It said NPC.
I
Yes.
can't list any of my friend NPCs
Yeah.
because they're trying to
you
kill
totally
me.
can. The guy that you cast anesthesia and shot a gun in his ear. That's
What
your
was his
favorite.
no, no.
name?
NPC.
Oh, what was
I
that
don't
guy
even know
earlier?
he had a name.
Link. The
Blank,
guy.
the
Yeah,
guy
Link.
never came up.
yeah, that was the guy.
No Emin for anybody. No Lucas. No.
Who?
Are we
Lucas
going?
was book one.
I
We're
guess
going
Lucas
back to
was
book
book
one, or are we doing book two?
I think it's supposed to be book 2.
I'm assuming book 2 because if it's book 1, I'm just gonna say winner. I like winner.
Yeah,
Winner.
winner.
I did not like
If it's
Winter.
book 1, it's winner.
But
when
also
she
like
finally
Coleman.
let us in and then she needed us, I was like, oh, isn't that
I also
funny?
I really liked Holman too. So
I was
Coleman's
ready
great.
to rescue her and then build up a little wall and be like, oh, no.
Jail.
Go fight
Jail
3
10,000
bears and come back.
The
Oh my
Thrushmore cat.
gosh.
Great answer.
I was.
Thrushmore Cat is a good answer. You know what?
There's
Thrushmore
Golston.
Cat is
There's
up
Keldrin.
Golston is
Winter
is
was-
Kevin's. I know Golston's Kevin's.
Does he likes,
yeah,
he likes Golston.
Kevin loves Golston.
There's Daleen. I'd
Adam
say like Daleen and
Sandler.
Ratri are fairly minor characters.
Mm.
Meg.
Daridella. Meg.
Meg. That's my final answer, boss.
I think it does have to be Bang Bang.
Bang Bang's great. I just don't
The
want to
thing is, if evils were included, I actually would say Melisson, just
Yeah.
because I think she's so interesting. I like the mean girl energy.
I don't want to copy their answers, so I'm just gonna say Meg.
Meg. Okay. The thing
Tattered
I was
Man.
saying. The Tattered Man. The thing I was saying before that is I thought a lot about talking to Yrelai. I thought a lot about the things you would likely ask or would want to know throughout everything that's happened so far. How Yrelai might respond. And that's one of the NPCs I thought was going to be, even though she's only going to be there for 30 minutes once, was going to be a really big kind of moment for the campaign because you can get so much. So I wanted to be very anchored in her headspace and like what she thinks and where she's at. And I was confident that when she said, like, she's like, yeah, I gave him the ritual. I mean, I ran the ritual to give your memories of the Mad Poet. That you guys would have been pissed. I had an entire like rebuttal to that ready. I'm just like, I don't understand why you're mad. It's not personal. Like,
This is the first person who was honest about anything.
And you know, that kind of
I
went
keep
over my
hearing,
head.
This reminder constantly that Melisson didn't lie to you in the dream. She lied for the entire remainder of book 2. Okay, she
You do not-
obviously knew. She just didn't
She
say
was
it.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, she.
You do not fault the blacksmith that made the sword that stabbed you.
That's fair.
She's
I would
the
just
only
share.
upfront person. That alone is volumes of
Reese's been pretty upfront.
Oh, I love
Reese's
Reese.
ever.
I
Yeah, she wants to
personally,
She's
stab
mostly
us.
only talked to EZ. But
I
I don't think she's ever been like overly deceptive.
I personally, like,
I
as
think
a
she
as a
stabbed him.
player, and as a character, like even MD, like doesn't want to kill Reese. Like every chance is going to be given to Reese.
I'm trying to think. When she
I
stabbed
mean,
him,
Melisson-
that was a deceptive scene for sure.
When she stabbed him?
Yeah,
No,
they were hugging. I
mean, yeah.
Say, hold on,
She
I'm
was
going
trying
to do
to.
something.
Well,
now."
yeah, I
You
mean,
may
she was
not
trying
like
to make it. She was trying to make it easy. She was
Mhm.
she's
trying to make it comfy.
painless as
think.
It was
possible
literally like, yeah, it was like distract the babies. You got to give them
because Melisson is incredibly
shot.
manipulative.
She's better than most of them, but she was definitely still part of the withhold all information train.
She was not immediately upfront.
Yeah.
She didn't immediately tell EZ everything because she had no idea what was going on. She
Yeah.
was not there when you got your mind sacrificed. Did not know what had actually happened.
She still probably doesn't know what actually
She still
happened.
probably doesn't
Yeah.
know the details.
It was
And
Melisson.
never will.
It was Melisson that took Martin away from you. It was her.
It's a
Sicker.
potentially interesting conversation
Get
the
it.
first time that you have an opportunity to talk to both Reese and Melisson at the same time.
Yeah.
Because from your interactions with them, it seems like they very clearly have massively different knowledge bases.
We're gonna win her over.
Melisson?
No, not that one.
No, we're gonna win over her. We're gonna win over.
We're
Reese.
gonna kill Mellison.
Melisson
Or
is
say,
dying.
hey, Reese, you know it's her fault. And then
Reese
keep
is like
We'll put her on the front lines.
optional.
Don't put that on screen. You're scaring me. I know you're probably not gonna planning to, but like you're spooked. I see out of the corner of my eye. It spooks me. I'm spooked.
Is it the boss?
No,
It is. It is.
We got him.
but
I know what it is.
Arcadis just like the corner. Arcadis, give us one
Arcadis, no.
finger.
Arcadis,
of the-
no.
Does the boss have hands?
It's
one
Reese's
finger.
How many
Only
hands? How many
fans.
hands is the boss?
Show us the ankle. It's not him.
Mhm.
Show us the foot of the boss.
Speaking.
Just a foot.
But no,
Whoa, what are you up to?
I'm just trying.
Ignoring
That's small,
this.
insignificant. But is that it?
Just the feet.
That's Reese.
That's just Reese.
That's
That's just
Reese's
Reese.
feet.
I know that's
I know
Reese.
Reese's feet.
I don't like
hold on.
that. I recognize the posing.
What is happening on this side of the room?
We trying to look at Reese's feet. Is that what we're after here?
Huh?
Take the boots off.
You guys are the ones that clapped Reese's feet so fast.
But-
Not me.
He
Both
can
of you
see it.
saw that.
He can see it, and I recognize the art.
Both
So
of you saw the toe of the boot and were like, Reese!
who else?
Reese!
She's got a distinctive pose. Okay,
Isn't she posed
You're
like
the one who's looking out
Yes.
for boss toes.
you are like asking for boss toes?
I want to know where to aim.
The toes?
The ankles.
Yeah.
Aiming for the grippers,
That's
eh?
fair. I guess that's all you can reach, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you have magic, so you can reach something other than the little toes.
Mage hands.
Okay, who's that?
I don't know that one.
Got a little bow.
Is that one guy
Little
from
cutie.
earlier? No.
Oh,
Is
oh
it?
yeah, okay. Well, I like that
Yeah.
we
Is
can
that
all immediately recognize Reese's feet and definitely not Melison's. So
Because we don't
We've
see.
We've
never-
never
I
seen
don't think I've
Melisson.
ever seen the
Not
bottom
un-
half of Melison's
Yeah.
art.
I didn't
feel
know there
we
was a
only saw
bottom
the
half.
full art until
We-
until like the I saw
thumbnail?
the cover for today.
Yeah, we've
I was
never
like,
seen the
dang,
full art.
She's stunning.
Yeah, I mean, I even made the tokens for her and everything, but even in the token, she's only like.
Because that's
waist up,
we've
basically.
seen
Yeah.
Reese's full art.
I'm gonna smack
Actually,
her in
most
the
of her's in the token. I
forehead.
think most of her's in the token.
Reese, we've definitely
Yeah.
seen her full art. That was early on. We saw her full art.
Yeah, no, Reese's full art showed up pretty much immediately.
I'm gonna
But
smack
no, that's Melison's
Melisson
full art. That's the token on
kinda
the map
dig it,
that's in the room that you
actually.
walked into.
and
She
leave
got
a
a sick
permanent
dress.
chain.
yeah.
Just
She looks
She
kind
kind
of
of
cool.
looks like she's having a hard time breathing.
Huh.
I don't really
That's
know
a
why.
She's gonna be
for you.
having a hard time breathing.
Oh well, so maybe it
That's
is,
your
yeah.
job.
She's a
I
humanoid.
don't know what that is.
know where
It's
those.
something about like the way that her chin is up. It's like
No, she has to have her chin pointed up so she can look down her nose at you.
that's so.
That is literally
true.
like the main pose that I focus on when I'm
Oh my gosh,
playing
I
as
can't
Melisson,
stand
is that
her.
my
Why
head is
doesn't she
always
like me?
tilted a little bit up. She looks at everyone like this when
Yes.
she's talking. Like that's
I love Millicent so. I love to hate her for sure.
a good antagonist.
She's such. It's just classic Mean Girl. It's like the lead-in that like, oh yeah, you guys were like best friends, and then every flashback is her like screaming at me. And then she's like trying to kill me and refuses to tell me what happened. Like, she's so. It's class. It's very. I love the like Mean Girls like, where she did like. You just want her attention.
You specifically Tetterman feet. Oh, those are horrible. Oh, I hate that. Oh,
Now
no,
he's got
those
the
are-
grippers out.
Why has he got like a 2-inch gap
God.
between his toes?
So he can hold your hand.
No.
It looks like they have like
That's
an
easy.
extra.
I hate 'em.
It literally looks like
Hey.
they have like an extra knuckle.
Wing.
That's almost like
Denizen-
he's
better
a
to
horrible
grip you
creature.
with.
or
It's almost
something.
as if he's a denizen of the nightmare realm.
Yeah, it's almost
That's
like
easy.
he's from
That's easy
Lang.
right
Look
there.
at his
Uncomfortable
finger.
toe gap.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
a,
that's from playing the violin for so many
he
years.
is a terrible.
It doesn't.
If you released this art today, people would say it was AI generated because his hands are too screwed up. Like it's.
there's not one finger. Like it goes one way, then jumps back the other.
Yeah, he is not pleasant to look at.
No, because it's despite being messed up, it's still uniform. The only
He
one
has
that's
too many
Jack.
fingers.
No part of the Tatterman is pleasant.
Did
to
you
look
see
at.
the
that?
only one that's odd is
What?
his right
his
hand.
shoulder. He's got his shoulder is jacked. He's got muscle, or is
Yeah.
it just wrinkly?
It's
It's
just
wrinkly.
wrinkly.
I think he's mostly just wrinkly.
I mean, he
Very-
does have a lot of
You
muscle.
can see like the little line right there. He's
Yes,
he's
he's-
strong.
He hurt.
He's very. Yeah, he hit pretty hard.
He's kind of
veins in his
He
neck
is
are
a nightmare
bulging.
demon, basically.
Look how thick that neck is.
He is the first denizen that you guys met.
It's funny that in the first episode, Easy was the last one to die to the Tatterman, and then revealed that he may be the Tatterman. Because he was the one who was one-on-one with him at the very
He
end
was
of
the
the
one
first...
that lasted the longest in the nightmare.
Yep.
That I think literally 0 of you successfully woke up. But did he wake up? Did he wake up or did he get killed?
I don't remember.
I think
I think
everyone got killed. I don't think anyone.
I got
sure
killed
everyone
first.
got
I opened the
wake
curtain
up.
and got killed.
You
I got-
immediately got brutalized. Yeah, it was that's how it goes. It's such a good intro to a campaign.
Oh, it is.
And then waking up in the even somehow worse situation
Mhm.
and the boiler room under the
Mm-hmm.
the maintenance wing. Oh, it's terrible. Hiroki-san, watch you guys at work. Longtime Squiddish watcher. At some point, I'd like to ask you, have you written the conversion of the campaign down? I'd love to run it someday with my group. It's definitely not formatted in a way that would make any sense to anybody else.
It's encoded.
Just start teaching.
It's
so
squid coded.
At the moment, no. I have made a handful of like stat blocks that would be useful for things, and I have like notes on stuff, but it's mostly in my head. Like
Got a big.
Something one day we could compile. That'd be
it's
cool
definitely
to have.
it's definitely a thing I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Put it together in like a more cohesive format.
That'd be
but
cool to have.
honestly, even if I went back and looked at it, I couldn't tell you 100% all the stuff that I did because I just kind of winged a lot of it.
Scott's gonna sit in
And
the
also a
corner
lot
and
of
just throw
A
hero
lot of my
points at
plans
us.
fell apart.
Scott in Central
immediately.
Florida.
Scott in Central Florida.
He's got to change his name on everything.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm glad that you guys are invested in the Reese and Melicent thing.
Mhm.
I do super want that.
They're both such good.
You did a really good job with them as characters.
Because they're both in that perfect like love and hate kind of balance where it's like, like what are you gonna do?
I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but the first time I ran Strange Aeons, it was much more by the book, minus one half of book 4 that I replaced outright because I just did not like the setup very much. And I had a way cooler idea, and I have a way cooler idea, and I'm going to do it again. Someday, maybe I'll run the second half of book 4.
No.
Probably not. I'm just going to replace it every time I do it because,
It's like book 5 of Skull and Shackles.
Did you decide yet? Or are you replacing it for this
I'm
one?
replesing it.
Okay.
I have an even
I know you were
betterer
debating
idea
it
than
for
I
a
did last
long
time.
time.
Last time I replaced it, I can't really talk about it yet.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to get into that.
I feel like
But
the last time we talked about it, you were still debating it.
I have now decided I'm gonna swap it out, and I have really solid ideas. It's gonna be in the vein of what I did the first time, but I have a way betterer idea, including I have one planned boss fight that I think will be super interesting, at least narratively, even if it's not mechanically so much.
It's easy.
It's Centipede. No, it's
It's
no,
easy. It's just
Centipede
easy.
is a
the spirit
forever.
of Centipede. It's just a Macrati. Like it's
No.
no,
No.
you can't just say no.
No.
No, because if that happens,
No.
we all instantly die.
We all get one veto card for the full
Nope.
for the full
It's a
show.
Macrati for everybody. But
Full series, one veto card.
in the first time I ran this, I ran it much, especially book 2, very much more as written. So Reese
Centipede.
Reese died the first time she showed up. Like literally the first time she was introduced, which was the equivalent of when she took Easy in the night.
Yes, you did.
And
I told you it's my favorite side
trying
quest that
to
we've had
drink.
the entire show.
Stop being
It's
funny.
never
because
not
it was
funny.
as written, when she shows up for the first time, she just attacks you. So I think we had it with one person
She attacked.
started the fight at negative health because she is an assassin and you guys are sleeping, and there was a check to see if anyone caught her.
Oh, the
coming
first
in.
time you ran Strange
First time I
Aeons?
ran Strange Aeons, yeah. And
That
she
was
came in,
fun.
shanked somebody, and then was supposed to just kind of like fight until she got sort of low and then leave. And she got very stuck and just died. So she showed up for one scene in which she like never even got a name.
Wait, no,
But she got a name. She had to get a name because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten a Reese's Pieces.
I'm
but that
pretty
was-
sure the first time she showed up, she sent Mistress Chaw straight to like dying and then
Yeah.
just outed.
No, she tried to out. And
I thought she got Reese's PC'd round 2.
maybe
Like
it was
second
round two.
time.
Maybe
That,
she showed up a second time.
'Cause she
But
showed
didn't
up
do much. She was
later.
literally just an assassin. They fought once, maybe twice, and then she died. And Malevolence, I think, also as written, was like a name. Malevolence, I suppose, would be closer to how you guys are probably experiencing Count Laos. Like it was a name that you heard. but not a person that you ever saw. Until,
And that's not fun.
like, literally until they walked into the room that we ended the last session walking into, and we're like, and that's the Melicen that you've kind of heard about from some of the
Like,
cultists.
almost all of our driving force has been Melicen the entire season. I
Because-
cannot imagine.
No.
There is one thing that I do when I tweak adventure pets 100% of the time, and that is introduce the main antagonist immediately. Like, they need to be a character.
Yeah.
Because it's not cool if the first time you meet them is just when you walk into the boss room and you're like, hey, it's that guy.
It's like running
Who
into
are
Tattered
you?
Man a million times in the asylum.
They do. That's largely, yeah, he's, I guess not a million times. He is obviously in that initial scene.
Yeah.
And then it's hard written that people talk about him a lot because everybody's having those nightmares. But yeah, having him physically show up several times, I'm going to build up the Tatterman. He's going to be
Yeah.
this horrible demon before you finally meet him. I mean, you guys have gotten to the bottom now. This is obviously the finale that we're going into. Melicen and Reese are the final boss. So they got introduced like immediately and in a very, very different light than they're just going to be the final boss. Question I have personally for Sully. I don't know if this has ever come up on stream,
Oh.
but we have talked about this somewhat. That you had a working theory for how book 2 was
Yes,
going to
I did.
end. Do you want to share that with the class?
I don't know if the
Whether or
like-
not you still believe it.
Yeah,
Do you
I
want
felt
to
more
share?
confident maybe before last episode when we got more revealed, and then I heard a hint about something about book 3. But what I've still felt is my standing theory for a long while is I have always thought that we were never going to stop the ritual. I always thought it's gonna be one of, like, you're just too late, you blah 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 or whatever. And I also have always thought that we wouldn't get to kill Melicen. I thought that we all wanted it too bad.
You
so
were in a
it
room
wasn't-
with Melicen.
so
That
it
still
wasn't
doesn't
gonna
mean
happen.
like.
So that might be nice.
There's nothing that says she can't just wall of force and leave.
That's true. She could
Or
still
the
leave.
great
I
many
thought
other things.
we weren't going to stop the ritual, and we weren't going to be able to kill Melicen because we wanted them both too much. Like it was just like we weren't going to get it was going to flip
You thought Melicen. Your theory is that Melicen is going to be
later on.
a further antagonist.
Yes.
Like it's going to be a boss fight for later chapters in the book.
I
and
thought,
not
yeah,
one for
because
right
we
now.
all hated her so much. I was like, oh, there's no way that we get the payoff already. I thought we wouldn't get to kill Melicen. We wouldn't get to stop the ritual. We'd be just too late. And my standing theory was that book 3 was going to be like some like Alice in Wonderland type stuff. Like, oh, the rituals happen. Something is like permanently
book
changed.
3 is called Dreams of the Yellow King.
And then I heard the name of that and I was like, oh.
That is the title of the next chapter. For anyone that didn't know that, we're currently in the Thrushmore Terror, and after our finale next week, we're going to be in Dreams of the Yellow King. And the name
I'm feeling good.
seems to put a lot of credence towards the theory, perhaps.
The fact that you asked me to say it now on stream, now I feel better.
So that's still where you're at. You still think.
That's still, if I had to choose, that's still where I'm at.
So you don't think you're going to you don't think it's going to be as easy as killing Melicen.
I know for a fact
or
that it will
Reese
not be
here.
as easy as killing Melicen or Reese, even if I'm wrong about the rest of it. I know that it is not just Melicen and Reese we're fighting. I know that we are fighting more things.
Well, yeah, there's a
Is
bunch of cultists.
is that a prediction about the book or about like me as a campaign writer?
At both.
There's also
I have
a bunch
more
of cultists.
experience predicting you, but I just know that it's not just going to be Melicen and Reese. There's no way.
Well, you are currently at the Star Stella that is buried beneath Iris Hill for as long as Iris Hill has been a thing, with the joining ritual that has been underway for hours. According to Wyrelai, too late to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
Feeling confident. I've been
You're
sitting
feeling-
on that for quite a while. That's been
Look,
my
we got to
holy
fight all
theory.
those guys too.
You've got this is just a
You got to
brief-
fight all those
Where
guys.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
start,
not-
where we're going to start next week
Gee.
is right here. We come down the stairs to the final level of Iris Hill.
Comfortably in the middle of the group.
You are the baby is protected.
I can't
on all
even see her
sides.
right now. I don't
I
even know
literally-
she's down here.
You have that massive chamber with the strange throne and the fountain on one side with Reese and Melicen, and the Star Stella in that domed cathedral-like space from all of your visions of the rituals in the past on the other. Surrounded by a whole lot of chanting cultists, candles, and blood offerings. There's a lot of stuff going on in that other room right now.
Did you have a prediction?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
I know that you know.
I wasn't even going to
doesn't-
say anything.
Yeah.
I know what happens
you,
here.
You have an understanding of the general trajectory of the
Yes.
campaign.
Yeah.
I'm not
But you don't.
I'm not massively modifying the arc.
Yeah,
because
I
I'm not
know
rewriting
the
it
Yeah,
entire
yeah, that's-
general
yeah.
story.
So you probably
I don't know the modifications that he has made to this
which
particular.
are
Right.
significant.
Yeah. But I
Reese
do
is
know
not supposed to be here regardless of what's
she should have
happening.
already died.
Oh.
She, like, as written, even if she does survive the first
Really?
a couple of assassination attempts, which it does, like, it doesn't assume that's going to happen, but it does kind of figure she's pretty powerful. That she'll probably at least be able to escape. She was supposed to be a mini boss fight upstairs.
Oh, okay.
That's
The
what I was
room-
expecting.
The room with the 2 random cultists.
I also didn't really think that she was going to be
Yeah.
downstairs in the boss fight. I
I
kind of thought that she might
figured-
be a mini boss.
Yeah, I figured we'd fight her like in the library or somewhere else.
Yeah, I moved a couple of encounters around throughout Iris Hill. I think Rimatri and the Star Vampire I left where they were supposed to be.
Stupid star vampire.
Now, granted, I thought that we might fight her upstairs, and then, debating on how it turned out, I thought that she might end up downstairs because we didn't kill her again, because we just couldn't do it.
So it's supposed to be. Actually, I didn't modify it that much. Iris Hill, actually, mostly. This is probably the most as written part of the adventure that I've run in Chapter 2 is Iris Hill. There's the Hound of Tandalos in the front entryway. There's just some fellas in the dining hall. In the library, you are supposed to fight the Mananangal, which is the girl that attacked you at Fort Halicourse.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
You're supposed to fight her there. And then upstairs, the sitting room is supposed to be just the Star Vampire, also the only Star Vampire,
Yes.
by itself, just the Star Vampire. And, we have, hold on, a Sane 220 last question before I have work. What is the best / favorite hero or villain point or wheel or woe? Biggest viewer redemption moment. And I'll continue this train of thought in a second.
Scott.
Wait,
I really, the ritual of just screaming Scott in general whenever anyone uses a hero point. From
is the
Scott's
question
great.
asking what is our
the
favorite,
favorite
point?
redemption?
What's the favorite, like, I would take it as favorite moment that's happened from a viewer redemption, either
Yeah.
from a hero
Like, are
point,
we rolling a hero point?
doing
or
something like a
using
big hero
Oh.
point reroll or a big wheel or a woe. As imbalanced as it was, the exploding door in Fort
That was big.
Halicourse
Yeah,
was
That
it was
fun.
stress.
that ended up being a very large moment all of
Yeah.
a sudden because it did way too much damage and suddenly made a borderline kind of throwaway encounter with a bunch of fish boys and Tilsatari into an extremely lethal fight.
Yeah.
And let you kill Tilsatari because she got overconfident. So the woe actually kind of turned out into a bit of a benefit in the end.
Yeah.
That's mine, I think.
This isn't in book 2, but this one I just think about so often. I feel like I have to say
Go
it.
for it.
Because it was my first. I just started playing Pathfinder. Didn't really have a massive understanding yet of like how the difficulties were going to be. Had never done a boss fight with you either. It was when you re-rolled because MD had died. You spent a villain point because you rolled a death save or something. Remember, because you told him, it's like, if you don't spend that, you're going to die right now. Like, he was dead.
Was this the Tatterman?
It was in the
fight?
Tatterman
Yeah,
fight.
yeah,
Yes. And that was the first, because I remember that happening, and you saying that, I was like, "What do you
You're like, wait,
like?
characters
What
could
do you
die?
mean?" Like, like
just to touch on this again, you've never played in a campaign where a player character died.
no, I've never died. I've played in one where a different character died
Oh,
before. But I have never died. I've played in one where, like, I've never really played in one where the person died and weren't already kind of trying.
It
to
wasn't
do, like,
a
write
story
out.
beat. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
like,
just,
always
like,
a story. Like I've
died
played
in
where
a
somebody was
fight.
like had to, like they weren't going to be playing anymore or something like that, and so then they would die like that. But I've never had somebody like die like
roll a
sudden,
14 or you're dead.
completely,
Yeah.
like shock die. And when you had told him that, I remember that being like like what do you mean? He's gonna like
The fear.
like it
Wait,
was
what?
like yeah, I was
We
like
can
I
just
came
die
back
in a
to
fight?
Earth for a
Like,
second. I was like, oh my gosh, like I think about that a lot because it was just like it really hit me where I was like, oh, like shoot.
no, it does not. Like, I don't go out of my way to do it. It's actually been quite a while since I've killed a player character. I think Eleonora is the last player character
That's
I've had die. It was Colby. It was
Raz is the last player character because he did die twice.
Okay, legally he died, but that was past the point where death kind of became a status debuff.
Yeah.
He
did die.
So once you get the ability to take a spell called Breath of Life, probably take that.
Yeah.
And also, keep that reaction handy.
It saves lives.
Yeah.
Oh
my
saves
gosh.
lives. Breath of
I just-
Life
yeah.
saves lives.
Dude,
But,
I think about it all the time because it was the first time that I'd ever experienced that somebody could just die out of the blue like that. Like a wait, I wasn't finished with that yet kind of thing. Like
hold up.
not being prepped. Like, oh my gosh, it's
Hold up.
crazy.
what do you got, Colby or Derp?
Using the hero point card for the improvised shield against the first star vampire.
Yes, in the
grabbing one of the
chapter.
chairs and
Oh.
And throwing a
shattering it.
chair up and stopping it
I
from
didn't take
grabbing
the hit.
you again.
Yeah.
That made the difference too. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's accurate.
You got one, Colby? You think?
I'm thinking
Think with your
hard.
brain. Let me look at these.
I'm trying to think of
So
A
you're
lot of
just-
the woes that you've done all have put a lot of pressure on us, especially like a book one near the final fight where we got like a bunch of woes at one time. Like, oh yeah, by the way, everyone's
I think I just
one.
doomed all of you. Yeah.
Yeah, you doomed one and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you broke her. Like immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I got broke on the wall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Favorite
So-
total moment, my first break, because I called it like 3 months in advance.
Easy.
I told him I was going to roll a nat 20 and I was going to break his system, and I immediately
You
did it.
did. It was the first break too. The first break,
Yep.
you immediately succeeded, and it's like it's a very Darkest Dungeon inspired system largely. The biggest, flipping back to this while you guys were thinking, the biggest things that I changed in here actually was just not having you fight Reese upstairs, removing a bunch of random traps that don't matter. There's just a bunch of like random hee-hoo that explodes traps that
We exploded that chest in the
we
diplomats.
already had that.
Yeah.
There's like 3 more of those in the mansion. I'm like, that's okay. I don't think we need that. There's if you look through the stuff in the study attached to the master bedroom, there's literally just another explosive room trap. It is the same trap. It just blows up again.
That's
I'm like, we don't need that. There's one on a door in the basement. I'm like, okay, you guys, someone that was a huge fan of stuff just blowing up when you try to interact with it. I'm like, it was funny once.
Yeah.
We don't need it 3 times. But the only like fish friend for Cammy is my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the woe. That was right. A woe for Telsatari to show up early.
yeah.
Like
The
disguised as
assassin.
fish, right?
I don't think you ever
Assassin fish.
explained
Yes.
to chat.
Oh, I
That
don't
was
think I ever
such a
did.
good
You
one.
explained to
No.
us.
Oh no, you didn't.
That woe with the assassin fish. That assassin fish was Telsatari. That was Mirrorwinter. And my woe was having her show up early and add into a fight that was already starting to get a little bit difficult.
Immediately down me.
And have her just show up. I mean, she's a sneak
Yeah.
attack rogue. She does a ton of sneak attack damage. Have her just jump in. She's got a massive stealth modifier. Sneak around and just gank somebody. But that was straight up Telsatari. She
When you
can
explained
just
that,
disguise herself as like any medium-sized creature, so she just became a fish.
when you explained that to us, that made that moment even funnier.
Mm.
Like it made it even
was
cooler
so
moment.
Funny.
It was actually the time that you killed Telsatari, even though it felt like the first time you really faced her was the 3rd or the 4th time you
Yeah.
met her. Because she was Barrow and Cecil at the door that you talked to.
Yeah.
She was the assassin fish up on the ramparts. And then I think it was you'd found her posing as Winter in that first fight, and then she showed up again after the door exploded because she was posing as Winter again in the next room.
Yeah.
Because my thought was I can literally do this infinity times.
No,
Yeah.
no, because I was absolutely going to go over and bonk her.
But like it's gonna be Winter at some point.
Yeah,
Like,
and
One
I'll
of these
bonk all
times
of
it
them.
has to be winter.
She's gonna come home. She's not gonna be conscious, but she's gonna come
It'll be
home.
non-lethal.
Oh, wait, hey.
It's going to hurt.
Favorite main story moment was the 3 doors in the dungeon. And
That's a
Here
side.
you
No, that's
go.
a side quest.
The
Side
money
quest
hole
moment.
problem.
That was Marcus's.
Oh, that was fun.
I'm answering for Marcus. That was
That was
Marcus's.
Marcus's.
Yep.
The only things I really did changing IRSO was taking encounters out of it.
Yeah.
I took the Keeper in Yellow out of the basement. He was supposed to be in that room that you just kind of like hurried through to get to the tick swarm.
Oh.
He was supposed to just be in that
Where
storage
we picked
room.
up a spyglass.
Yeah, he was in there. He's just an encounter
Yeah.
in there as written.
He was guarding the
Um,
spyglass.
And you're supposed
Oh.
to, in the hallway upstairs, the hallway has a rat swarm fight. And it's like a buffed rat swarm because
There'd be no rats. It's full of ticks.
then I changed him into ticks.
Mhm.
And then you're supposed to fight a rat king down in the well, which is just like the rat swarm kind of heralds that. Instead of ticks, you saw all throughout the mansion. You see rats all throughout the mansion, and there's enough of them that it's a swarm in the hallway. But I made it ticks, and it wasn't a fight till we were in the well because there's enough combats in here. It's hard to remove them because it's the end of the chapter. Like I can't get rid of Rumatri. No, I can't get rid of Rumatri or Namira, or the second Star Vampire, or like some fellas. I mean, there's got to be cultists in here. This is the main base. Wyrelai, like there's a lot of things that need to be run.
We'll just avoid the combats that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
Let's walk past those rooms.
We tried that. We didn't go
The
into
stable-
the attic, and then we had to go back to the attic.
We walked
That's
past.
actually hard written. If you try, it's hard written a little differently. Namira, you fight her astral projection in the library if you try to use the trapdoor ladder before you've dealt with her in the attic. Then so I just reflavored that as instead of that, just Melisandre just calls her down.
Because we hate Melisandre.
But we
Because
avoided
Melisandre.
we avoided the
Why doesn't she
stable.
like me?
We didn't go into the servants'
That's true. You didn't go to the
quarters.
stable. The servants' quarters is literally just full of a bunch more barbarians.
We
There's-
didn't go through the front door, so we avoided the dog until you brought the dog to us.
You probably
So
died to yourself. That's okay.
there's the dogs inside all of our hearts.
I
So the
detest
servants-
this assertion.
The servants' quarters is just a bunch more of the dudes that were in the guardhouse. There's just a freaking ton of them.
That makes sense.
And the stable has the stable is the only one that has some interesting stuff that got skipped, but it's all right because it's nothing. It's like
Tell me,
usually impactful.
why-
It's where Melisandre stayed. So Melisandre's room is upstairs in the stable.
why is there not a nightmare in the stable?
So we haven't
There
seen
is
Melisandre's
basically there's a haunt. There's a haunt that's basically
a nightmare.
Go
I know the
steal her
horse, but like
stuff.
there's
The joke
oh,
is
I
it's
get
a
it.
mare in the stable.
Yeah,
robbery.
there's other thing called a nightmare. It's like the shadow
it's
horse.
yes.
Yeah, no, there
Yeah,
is
the
there is
stable,
a haunt horse,
which
It's
would
not
be
a nightmare, but
hilarious.
It's not,
Horses in the stable. It's funny.
yeah, there's a butchered
No, a
horse's
nightmare.
haunt.
It's a joke. It's a pun.
Yeah, look
look at that.
some fellas.
What's in Melisandre's room? Can you
Melisandre's
steal
room-
her stuff? Is there good stuff?
Melisandre's room is you get her diary that she has up
Get her feet
there, which
pics.
is a little interesting, but not super
Her
revealing
diary.
because she's not dumb enough to be the like write all of my evil plans in a diary kind
Oh,
of person.
she has that in her evil plan book.
Yeah, she's her evil. That's her
She
evil.
keeps that in her
yeah.
pocket.
Her evil planner is on her. Her diary also explodes if you try to open it.
Does it?
A lot of that going around. they
What's in the
really like that
diary?
trap when they were writing this one.
We can exploit her emotional weaknesses.
She doesn't have any.
We're not thaumaturges.
But it's her diary. All of the stuff that she has up there is mostly from her like actual duties as seneschal. It's it's mostly work related. It's not as interesting. She doesn't have any like crazy culty stuff up there.
Would it have said something about Cammy?
No,
Probably not, honestly.
Come on.
It would
she
have
doesn't love you.
it would have been the first direct connection you had to Wyrelai.
Oh.
Because she's in there somewhat, but otherwise not much really.
She likes Wyrelai more than she likes Cammy.
I'm gonna kill her for that.
You already
There's
killed
also
Wyrelai.
supposed to be more of the same barbarians from the guardhouse in that hallway that's turned into a shrine in the basement. They really wanted you to just fight like 30 of these dudes. Like
We already did that in Fort.
Yeah. Well, we had our big fights in Fort Haliquars. I'm like, it's fitting and reasonable that there are a ton of them here. That is like a story beat. There's so many, but it's a story beat I kind of didn't really go into and sort of replaced with the demon summoning thing. So they were instead of like as written, one of the big tells that things are super awkward, iffy up at Iris Hill is that right before the count left, 2 unregistered galleons came to Thrushmore, and their cargo was taken up to Iris Hill. And
It's all
according
blood.
to Lady Rents, the cargo was people, and they were slave ships. And that's what all the barbarians are. So there's like 20 or 30 of them up at Iris Hill that Lowell's imported before he left just to protect it, just to be guards, basically. And that's also the main thing you're supposed to find up in Melisandre's old room is those last transactions of him paying these slavers to bring these ships full of Kuru in.
Lyles isn't a great guy.
Lowell's kind of sucky. Yeah,
He's also really
We
dumb.
should kill him too.
And he smells funny.
He is very dumb.
He's not here right now, so
It is a recurring plot point that he is very dumb.
He is
You may
very
have
dumb.
noticed that everyone you've ever met that knows, that talked to, that has met Lowells has mentioned that he is an idiot.
Even,
Like,
even Mellison.
he is not a
I
smart man.
kind of like that
That's-
to have heard the big bad. It's just like, oh my gosh, like all the
that freaking
people
guy,
under him
like,
are just like,
freaking idiot, man. Like,
We only follow him because he pays. Like,
we follow him because he is the Count by blood. When you literally get born into it, you get to do whatever you want, it turns out. But yeah, no, he is not a smart fella.
He's a
It's-
fart smeller.
It's
oh yeah,
he still smell funny.
is that him?
His
yeah,
fashion
that's
You have
sense
to tell us
sucks.
right now
That's
if it's him.
That's
That's
him.
him.
That's Lowells.
Is it
He
really?
looks
No, yeah.
very
That's
Russian.
100%.
You're serious?
Yeah, that's his art.
That's him. No, AJ showing
my
us.
No,
God,
yeah,
he
he looks
is
like
an idiot.
he looks like a Street Fighter character. It's
Yeah.
like he's
I thought it was a goof.
No.
no, that's
No,
Oh my
he is a
God.
Lowells
goof.
actually has a bunch of art. There's like 5 or 6
Dang.
different pieces of art of Lowells. He has
Oh my
a
god.
lot.
He's
That's the one from
awful.
book 1. That's the one from book 1. Yeah, he's always got
Thinks
like
he's cool.
the giant
The
fur mantle
glasses.
and the huge black lens glasses.
He thinks he's
Oh,
cool.
that's terrible.
That's the one from
That
book
one's better.
3,
He
I
looks better
think.
there.
But yeah, he has a lot of art.
Those look like the other two look like memes. That one.
That's
one
that's
looks
that's
alright.
cover art, so it's a
Yeah.
lot higher detail.
In the art piece where he's looking off at an angle, he looks like a Dave the Diver character.
I can't just see the first one that Arcade has pulled
Yeah,
up.
where he's holding his glasses.
Honestly, yeah,
Yeah.
he does kind of look
does
like a
kinda-
Dave the
he looks
Diver
kinda-
character. But no, he is a. It's interesting how much of a plot point Count Lowells is an idiot is, and that's something that we will get into more as the adventure progresses. It's
Stupidest move.
Bleaches just the center of his beard.
Stupid.
it's very uniform, isn't
Yeah.
it? There's no way that's just naturally
Mhm.
graying exactly in a stripe.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm saying.
Like I said, his
That's-
fashion sense sucks.
effort's got to go into that
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
The straight across trim. Like,
Very blocky.
oh,
It's-
He's very blocky.
wait. For when we meet him, is that going to be your costume for that book?
Just a giant.
So
fur
dressing
coat.
up as that
Should go
random
right across the
doctor,
bottom of my beard.
or the.
I am changing the GM costume for book 3. I'm updating it, and I'll probably have the same one. I'm not going to change it every 2 books. So I'll have one that should be pretty fitting for 3 and 4, and then I'll have a final costume for 5 and 6, which is pretty neat.
I need to update my costume.
I was just thinking, is anybody updating their costume?
I'm
Probably
trying
not.
to.
I'm
Probably
gonna go 1 to 20 wearing that coat.
I'm debating if I'm changing it.
You got the
I
glasses.
I want to, but I've already said his costume is as boring as his personality.
That's
So
entirely
Yeah.
up to you guys if you like
Yeah.
have enough stuff that happens or changes that
I like to kind of mix it up a little, just to show like
some
progression of time.
Yeah, the variety is fun. 'Cause even in Malevolence, I changed Talus's a little bit as we
Yeah.
were going through.
I lost
Like,
the coat for season 2.
Yeah, you lost the coat, now you got the glasses too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I
you've had a
miss
couple of changes.
my hat.
But
Whereas-
one other
That was
thing
a
that's
good
super
hat.
interesting that this campaign just gives you, and I'm okay with it because it's really cool, is the confabulation plates that you found last episode.
yeah.
The Speak with Dead machine. We talked about a decent amount in the post show, but you have a Speak with Dead machine. Figuring out how to use it is its own thing.
Oh, I forget. That's a question that we should have asked. Wirelai.
How do we use those plates?
Hey,
How'd this work?
after we kill you, we're gonna take those. How they work?
But you get the Speak with Dead box, which is just neat that they just give you. You
Yeah.
have unlimited access to a thing that you can just strap to a corpse and talk to them.
Yeah.
Also, you finally found Accuser Omari. Like it's
The winner, we found her.
where I found your boss. Hella dead. Massively
Oh,
violating
very
your
dead.
corpse when we found her. But you know,
I think that makes you the new boss, though. That's a
Literally
Phil
in the
promotion.
morgue.
You're the Inquisitor now.
You're at that Phil promotion winner. Congratulations.
you're royal accuser. Yeah, you're promoted to the FBI. If you just get recruited from a local department to help them out and your supervisor dies, you're legally
You're
an
the
FBI
FBI.
sergeant.
That's
now.
how they
That's
get
it
'em.
works.
I mean, who
Man.
else is going to take charge of the field operation?
I think the field operation's over.
She's still alive.
I think the field operation has.
Operation.
Oh, by the way, I knew there was another one. I went one page not far enough. The bottom of the stairs leading down to where we ended last session also has just a trap that explodes. Like it's
Oh my god.
Because why not?
like there's 5. There are 5 either books, chests, or doorways that just blow up when you interact with them in Iris
So
Hill.
I'm pretty sure
Huge fans of that when they
it's
wrote
the
this.
same. It's the same idea with the crit card. They just give like rooms to a bunch of different people and say do something with this room.
It's
like
funny every
6
time.
different people said exploding trap.
I think like thematically, it's just like that's a spell that they have. So like logically, they would have went around and used it to reinforce different areas because like you even have it.
Yeah.
You got it in the list of scrolls.
Yes.
So like that's just I like thematically I get it. Gameplay wise, I'm not running this trap 5 times. Like it's especially
Oh my gosh.
imagine this whole you have the flashback of you walking down the stairs and going in this ritual chamber and it comes back and you find yourselves opening this doorway and like make a reflex save. Because it explodes. Anyway, back to dramatic. So you see on your right.
God. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Do you imagine that anybody ever accidentally set it off? Like with all the people that they had working at the hill? Like some
The
guy's
one-
just like going through the hallway and he's like, oh, shoot.
The one at the bottom does not trigger if you worship. It's based on worship. So
Well, what if a guy's struggling with his faith?
then he blows up. That's like
That's a
They've
good
all
way
got-
to see if you're loyal.
And then they're all just like, oh, Steve, I didn't, are you doing okay? I didn't know you were.
He's just a
You
corpse.
going
yeah.
say
There's
something
actually
right
that's
now?
actually the trigger for
Oh,
most
there
of them.
goes Steve.
The trigger for most of them is worshiping the Yellow King,
Oh, that's fun.
and that just
or
makes it
not worshiping him.
not worshiping. Well, that's what
Yeah.
makes it go off. Worshiping the Yellow King is what there's usually with glyphs.
worship.
Oh,
A.
There's
imagine
a
if you
thing that
messed
goes
that up.
around him. It's usually you have to say something, or worship, or believe something, or have something. The one that's thrown in the study in the master bedroom does not have a workaround because that was just like a burn after reading backup, and it just blows itself up if anyone else tries to come in.
We lose so many cultists that way.
Way too many explosives. The one that Daleen had, Daleen's trunk, you have to say Lost Carcosa before you open it.
Oh,
That's the trigger on that one.
dang. Did she have that written down on a sticky or something that we could have found? Or
It's on her laptop.
I think you would have had to disarm it or ask them. You had them both alive when you were trying to open the trunk that I'm pretty sure you detected there was a trap on.
we did.
You-
He tried to
You
dispel
could
magic.
have asked them.
Too
He
late.
tried to
He tried to dispel it.
Yes,
and rolled a
that's true.
1. Yeah.
But no,
That
it
wasn't
would
my
literally-
fault. That
it
was
would
all
literally
easy.
just be a matter of asking them. Sully's dying. It has been, honestly, I think probably a good amount of time for this one. Next week, we're gonna come back with our whole party. We're gonna sit down here. We're gonna do a stream at 3 p.m. Eastern
I'm gonna be over there.
on this channel. Colby's gonna be in his regular seat.
I'm gonna be.
We're
sad.
going to come in to the bottom level
I miss Kevin.
of Iris Hill. On one side of us, Melison's ritual, the joining, nearly complete with your old cult, finally having found something, some difference to make this work. It's not like it hasn't been tried before. And on the other side, Melison and Reese, waiting, obviously knowing that with you still out there, you were almost certainly going to show up. And we'll see what happens. So join us then. And we didn't get to roll a whole lot of dicing today. I was playing with one for pretty much the entire session.
I
'cause
rolled
had
7
no
ones.
problem. What do you guys got? Let's get some numbers.
18.
Got a 17.
I rolled
Woo,
a 3.
20.
You rolled 2 dice.
I always roll 2.
Let's see what this one. It's over there now.
Gone.
That's
If you want actual Pathfinder, some more tabletop content. The good news is
I somehow
that
managed to get it on its side. Like, it's standing
Oh, I
straight.
think the grooves of the carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, impressive, actually. Tomorrow, we are going to have our normal episode of Abomination Vaults. 4 p.m. Eastern. You can swing by. You can check that out. You can watch this man roll dice exactly into the groove of the carpet somehow. And then Wednesday, we've got Starfinder Season 2 continuing on.
I
The
can be on
Adventures
this
of
side and
Chip.
do this.
The Adventures of Chip and other people going on their magic. Chip
It's just Chip.
specifically. Nobody else really matters.
It's actually just Sully.
Going on their magical, literally, spacefaring adventures
With Fonk.
with Fonk,
with Fonk.
with Big
Oh
Fonk.
my gosh.
hopefully, it's so funny.
It's so
It's
funny.
not fair you get to use music like this. And
You just need to introduce more gnomes.
I literally
I say this
had-
every time you complain about it. Gnomes.
I did, like, in the first run of Strange Aeons, I had a, like, Crypt of the Necrodancer boss fight in my rewrite for Book 4 that was straight up just, I think I literally just
It was
played Crypt of the
Necrodancer
Necrodancer music. Yeah, like, just whole ass, because it was before we were on the Paizo channel or anything. So it's just actual
Dang.
boss music from Necrodingus. Hopefully we'll see y'all next week for the conclusion of the Thrushmore Terror.
We'll find a way to sandbag it.
We'll see how this arc of our adventure ends and where we'll be going for the next one.
I have 2 extra characters made up just in case.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Stay safe. Stay safe.